We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep, even if it is a little late. And we have quite a bit of cleanup to do, or housekeeping to do, before I premiere this episode, even though this episode is premiering quite late. Number one, we just put up our Walking Dead Season 11 art smartphone wallpaper on ko-fi.com/squawkingdead. It's ko-fi.com/squawkingdead. In our Ko-fi shop, we have the new wallpaper up. Now, of course, all membership tiers, anybody who has a membership tier, even the Walkers tier, which is only $1 a month, have the ability to get this for free at ko-fi.com/squawkingdead. So head over there now, you people, you lovely people. Get your Squawking Dead wallpaper, just have it, just to have it. It's yours, it's free. But if it's not, if you right now it's in the shop at as a pay as you want model. The minimum is $1, and if you pay $3 for the wallpaper, you'll get 30 days of access to our supporter back content. How do you like that? Second bit of housekeeping is I got a special something from Fan Art Lindy. And I know exactly what it is because I ordered it from her. So I'm going to open this up right now. It is a print that this is going to be biased, but this is basically the best print. When I saw this, her working on this, it just wowed me. So this is from Fan Art Lindy. I'm going to open this card first. Oh, hey Mario. Hey, thank you for saying hi. And hey, Sharon D. Hey. Hey, Cosmo09, Rachel Bart, my right hand. You guys are crazy insane. I love you. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh, what a beautiful card. Look at this. I don't know if you can see this. Is it showing up? Yeah, there we go. Yay. Okay. And, oh, hey. Okay, she gave me a little card with Theodore Maddox, her art from of Teddy Maddox. Okay, it's really cool. It's on photo paper. She says, "Thank you for your support and so much more. It means so much to me." Underline. Yes, my vocab is low today. Not a migraine. Oh God, a migraine. Enjoy your strand, Linda. Oh yeah, this is from Jennifer Markey. She is Tractor Rock on Instagram. That's really cool. Victor Strand. I was an amateur. I've gone pro. So this is what she said. Hello, my name is Victor Strand. Yeah, cool. And let's keep going. Trying to keep the momentum going. I was always slow at opening things. Oh, very protected. All right. There we go. And of course, I cannot wait to put him up. It's Victor Strand. Victor Strand. It's wonderful, isn't it? I cannot wait to hang this up. Oh, it's going to go right next to Morgan. Anyway. Okay. The rest of the housekeeping is as follows. We have the June's Holiday Tunes has been extended to this weekend. So please DM Blazy Gardner for any questions you might have, and to upload your video of yourself singing a holiday tune with the word June in it, like as in June Dory. It should, make it yours. Format it any way you want. Have fun. Make it, be creative. Do you, boo-boo. But send a video of yourself singing a holiday tune with the word June in it, and anybody who participates will be in the running in a random giveaway for a Believe in June t-shirt featuring a signed autograph on the t-shirt by Jenna Elfman herself. There you go for that. Last bit of housekeeping, of course, is the Secret Santa. TWD Secret Santa. What it is if you add your name to the list. Now I know we have many entries, but I feel like I should promote this still. DM Blazy Gardner to go on the list to be selected at random for your Secret Santa character, whom you will give a present to, a Secret Santa present to. Now, obviously, you can't give a present to a mythical character, a non-existent character, but what you would give that character if they were real. Now, it could be a fake present, it could be a Photoshop present, it could be something you say you got them, but didn't really. Or you can make it. Something that's lying around your house that you could give to them. Be creative, be funny, be irreverent, be all you can be, but just participate. That's right. So if you are interested in doing that with us, to submit a video of yourself in this video project, DM Blazy Gardner on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That's BLAZYGARDENER for both the June's Holiday Tunes and the TWU Secret Santa video projects. Hey, and guess what? We've got 10 cast members involved. I feel like I get in trouble every time I say that. Anyway, without further ado, here's the episode as promised, as late. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy. I'll see you in the chat.
We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, but most times we go deep. Today we're talking about the 7th episode, right, of the second and final season of The Walking Dead World Beyond. It is feeling a little bit sad. Every episode has a little bit more intensity than the last one, and they have been pretty intense for the last, I say, 2 or 3 episodes, I think. I'd say the second half. Yeah, ever since the quote-unquote, because it's not really, mid-season finale, which is the 5th episode, it just feels like things have just been ratcheting up and up. And here we are, racing towards the finish. And so many reveals on top of reveals on top of reveals. So I have Sharondy's take in the tank, so that's pretty cool already. We'll be playing that at some point. She's in the crowd also. She's in the chat right now with, is Mario here? No, it's just you and...
He was.
He was? I don't see...
He's still I think he's still here. He's still here. It says there's 5 people here.
Okay, the reason why Sharondy is in the crowd is because she had her booster shot and she's not feeling so well. But also, her internet had its booster shot and it isn't working anymore. It had an adverse effect to Sharondy's booster shot. So her internet's not working.
Got COVID.
No. Internet got COVID, yeah. Internet has myocarditis.
That would be very, very bad.
Yeah, if the internet had myocarditis, it would be very bad. What is... Oh, so we have Jasmine's tea right now. What is... Explain to the audience what myocarditis is. I'm not leaving this in, but here we go.
I have a disease of the myocardium, which is the muscle surrounding your heart.
Ooh, okay. So heart issues.
In layman terms, it's a heart attack.
Oh, so it's not like a condition that persists, or a chronic condition?
Yeah, it develops into a heart attack.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the weakness of the heart muscles leads to an arrest, or right?
Without treatment, yeah.
Mm. So what is the treatment for that? Oh, damn it.
Yeah, one.
Jasmine's just been teed.
Tea with Jasmine. I like
Jasmine's
it.
Tea.
Jasmine's.
It's not going to stick. I promise you it's not going to stick. Maybe. I'm not sure.
I like it. Anytime we have like medical discrepancies or anything in the science, Jasmine's going to come in and spill her tea.
Although there is something that I did like, and I did write it down, but okay, first of all, just to give you an idea of what my notes sometimes looks like, I like how the opening started. It was like basically going back to go forward again to explain what happened the night before to what happens the next morning. But then I write, this is prior to some of the events of 206, and then I write, bark his nipples.
Okay.
Space, and then I write some cool things. So ADC stethoscopes, which is a real thing. It's a real stethoscope. LH lithium heparin line tubes get whole blood plasma samples. Whole blood / whole plasma samples. I thought this was cool. They were screen accurate with what they were using. There's not like a stage test tube. It looks like a real test tube, or at least it's labeled right.
So someone did some research, but not where your EKG sensor should go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, nobody's perfect. You get almost everything right.
To be fair, fun fact, paramedics in the UK, 40%, there was like a study done of patients coming into hospital, and 40% of EKG placements were wrong.
Wow, that's
Wow.
a big...
From
That is
people coming into hospital with paramedics.
Right, so they're getting bad
Wow.
EKG readings from paramedics, unfortunately.
It wasn't about the readings necessarily. I don't know the reading side of it, but it was they were examined on entry to the hospital, and 40% had incorrect placement.
Which indicates that they were caught.
Could lead to
So-
right.
So well, then it makes you
Right.
think which ones may not have been caught. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that now. And that's the worst part is that I think what doctors rely on on the readings from those EKG. What was the Ghostbusters EPK, EKP readings? Or, Ghostbusters readings?
Like the ectoplasm, whatever.
Yeah, I forget we had this conversation
Oh, I
before.
can't remember what they called it.
PKE. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. There are ghosts. No, they would be after getting a bad EKG reading.
The thing about the EKG readings are 9 times out of 10 when they arrive in hospital, they'll rip them off anyway because the EKG machine belongs to the ambulance, and then they'll put a new EKG on. So once you get to hospital, your care is probably going to be fine, but it's the actual initial EKG readings on the road are sent to the hospital to decide whether a patient needs to go to a specialist unit or just regular hospital. So if they've placed it wrong and they don't catch something, that's when the issue is.
Right, because they can sometimes
They might not get sent to the right hospital.
Right, because they may have to do some sort of like emergency procedures on the road too, right? Depending on what it is. Oh, like if
With heart problems, there's nothing they can really do on the road.
Oh.
Like if they were having a heart attack, it's just drugs and like get them to hospital really, really fast, and potentially get ready to do some CPR.
right. But also, even what drugs they give, doesn't that depend on those readings?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Ooh, Jasmine's tea.
That was unrelated to the episode, so it's not really Jasmine's tea.
It's hey, we just had Jasmine's tea. You're gonna put Jasmine's tea down. No, we just had it. Yeah, it's fine.
I like this episode.
Oh.
Unusual.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, part of dealing with you. I was gonna say speaking with you, but then I said, no, let's use another word. You've said a lot about this season thus far. I believe this goes in tandem with what you had said maybe about the first season, that you actually kind of liked the first season more. Did you say? I forget what it was exactly, but I don't know. Maybe season 2 was even worse than season 1, according to you. Is that accurate to say, or?
I don't know. I found season 1 was not that great either.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were equally as bad. The first 4 episodes of season 2, and then all of season 1, I think were all like not that great.
Right, slowish.
Except maybe like a couple of episodes in season 1.
Oh, okay. Meaning maybe the end, because it seems like the commonality is movement and action and things happening.
Actually, I really liked the Elton-focused episode in season 1.
She has a type. Embarrassment. Ah. But okay, so what did you like about this episode though, in particular, or if you could pin it down? I don't know.
Okay, so Mason was in it.
Oh, that is. She has said that. She has said that. She, to quote you, you said, "Yeah, he's pretty much the most interesting character that shows up 0.1% of the entire series." But it's that 0.1%.
I never said that. This episode definitely disproved your longevity theory, though.
Happy to say that. Happy to be wrong.
I'm happy about that, because if they were doing that, it would be very extreme. But
Very.
It was nice to finally know what's going on in this secret lab, and that it's not longevity, and what like the whole reason for like keeping it secret and stuff. But it still holds like that element of mystery of like, why did they need to kill all these people at the same time?
To catch everybody up who may not have seen that episode, one of the theories that I had that I took further with some input from Sharondy and others was I had said, they could be doing this longevity thing. The commonality between all 3 series is that you have a group or a person who is the light of the world, and they need to bend everybody to their image. So the thought was, oh, hey, why not I give, the winners the secret to long, everlasting life with this making them walkers that have a brain? Sure, that sounds fine to me. So, but through a little bit of more discussions, we came down to like, okay, what if we created super soldiers that didn't feel pain, that when they got hurt wouldn't die unless their brain got hit, but with all their faculties and everything, they would just keep going. Cool theory. I thought we all kind of came to a good head with where our minds were at. But it turns out that, and this is pretty cool too, nothing wrong with that. And it really does track with what the series is all about, or at least what the CR is all about. I mean, the episode, what was it? Was it 5 was Quatre Voix? 4, which one was Foothold? Was it 3 or 4?
I think it was 3.
But the idea that we do what we do to get a foothold. Everything is about a game of inches. Even their goal, their scientific goal was, hey, can we just stop reanimation post-death? Just that. If we can do that, that goes a long way to bringing back humanity. That means when we die, we don't come back. That means all we have to deal with afterwards, which is what the culling facilities are all about, is get what's there. Get what has reanimated.
Foothold was episode 2.
Right, Mario chimed in with that too, thank you. Actually, I don't know who was faster. You sounded like you were typing and then Mario just chimed in and like stole your thunder. Thanks, Mario.
Well, number 3 was Exit Wounds then.
Oh, Mario, you've
Yes.
been served by
Yes.
Jasmine's tea. Anyway, that's not sticking around. Okay, I'm sorry. That's reserved for medical stuff only. Stupid David. Bark his nipples. Okay, so yeah, so it looks like from this episode we're left to conclude that was the goal. That was a goal that they've had for 8 years. Since the start of the apocalypse, right? No, I'm kidding. No, that was 12 years ago. Ooh.
Or before. And I only say that because of the date on that Project V piece of paper.
Right.
Sounds like they've been working on this before the fall.
Did I get in your head about
Right.
that? Ugh, I don't feel bad.
I mean, you can't dispute that date.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how you switch those numbers around, it's still pre-apocalypse.
Yeah. So
No matter how you do it. Yeah.
for others who may have missed that episode, what we had seen in the Project V, which we now know is Project Votus, we had seen a date on there that was from 2002, or that's what at least it seemed. We posted it on the blog, the 2 versions of the paper, and what we're finding out is that it's possible that so that's when Jasmine was born. You could have said that out loud. Why didn't you say that? We'll say it out loud now. Oh, so did you not want me to say that out loud?
02?
No,
You were born
2002, that was when I was born.
Yep.
You were born in 2002?
Do you want to bring Silas
My
on?
stomach hurts so bad.
Why though?
Because I graduated high school in 2002.
Guys, I graduated high school in 1997, so let's move on. I don't care. Although it is really weird. Okay, let me just say this out loud. I used to be the young guy in the room. I know, that sounds weird, doesn't it? Coming from my perspective. And Charity's like, 1990, babies. That's when she graduated high school. No, I was like the young guy in the room, surrounded by older people. And I was always the young computer guy in the office, with the older ladies hitting on him.
I know that feeling.
And
Well, not that part. Old ladies didn't hit on me.
It doesn't last forever.
no, sick transit Gloria, exactly.
Well, unless you're always hanging out with people who are older than you. That
Me?
seems to be what's happening to me. Like the older I get, like my friend, like I hang out with a lot of people that are, well, okay, let's be honest. I hang out with my mom's friends. There's no sugarcoating it. I hang out a lot with my mom's friends. So I'm a lot of times I'm the youngest person in the room too.
Yeah, Sharon.
No matter how old I am.
Charity's gonna hang out with Betty White right now. That's
Yes.
her crowd.
Oh, I would love to hang out with Betty White.
Trying to figure out people that are older than her.
Yes.
That's her logic. This is all I was explaining it.
I was the youngest person at work, and then they hired someone new, and then she became the youngest, so I left, and now I work somewhere else.
Is it because you left because of that? Fuck this! I want to be the youngest in the office. Okay.
I'm out of here. If I can't be the youngest, I'm out of
She
here.
like upended a table just to do it. It was like, ah. Although
Yeah, two tables.
there, whoa. No, it's so
That's
fun.
Jasmine spilling the
Jasmine's tea. There's a happy ending to me being not being the youngest person in every office fixing computers, being hit on by older ladies. I get to be the older guy who's not creepy. I promise, not creepy, but who like younger women or older women too will hit on. This just happened recently. Okay, so I like literally last week. It was really weird. Oh, you look really good. In fact, better.
You getting hit on?
Yeah, it was really weird.
Oh, yeah?
Because I hadn't been hit on in a very long time. And this was an older woman, too. Yeah, it was just a little... It put me on my haunches because I didn't register it at the time. And then I got home. I literally... Not until I got home and I was like, was she hitting on me? This is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, like, do you recognize it in the moment? Like, do you know when you're being hit on? Because I first of all, I don't think I ever have been, if I'm being honest.
You have been.
Well, I take that
I
back.
was there.
I take that back. The one time I know for sure, this is a creepy story,
Yes.
so I'm sorry.
Ooh.
The one time I know for sure I was being hit on is when I was 15,
Ooh.
dressed as a clown. I'm not shitting you. I'm not kidding you.
I want to know more
Yep.
about this. No, but, I probably don't.
I was at. You probably don't. I was at a job. I was a clown. I was Ruby at Ruby Tuesdays, the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So I would. Yep, that was my very first job ever, and I just happened to be on a break. So I was drinking a soda up at the bar, talking to my friend Meredith, who was bar back that night, or bartending. Sorry, excuse me. And this old creepy guy. Of course, I was 15, so he was probably like 30. You know, I thought that was old back then. Yeah, and he's like, I have a hotel room across the street. If you want to come over, we could watch movies. And I'm like, Bleh! And I'm like, I'm 15, in case you didn't know. And he's like, okay. I'm like, Bleh! Ah!
15.
Break was over. My break was over.
That is pretty creepy.
That's the only time I could tell you for sure that I've been hit on.
Damn, that's extreme. Rachel's tea.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Right?
it's more than just tea. Ugh, gross.
Rachel's trauma.
Rachel's coffee and ashes. Ugh. Let's start a support group. Rachel's group therapy. That's what this podcast has turned into. I'm happy. I'll do it.
Maybe that's also a little bit why I'm still terrified of clowns.
Oh, because it was you that was the clown who was hit on. Like, are there other creepy guys that like clowns? Ooh.
Ugh.
Sorry.
Just a bad association, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm sorry that happened to you. Ooh. Like, it would be one thing if
It's funny
did,
now.
It would be one thing if he didn't know, right? And then, I was like, but then you tell him and he goes, yeah, so?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yep. That was the response.
Right.
And?
I get it. I like a good clown, right? It doesn't everybody? It's a joke, because nobody does.
Somehow in my brain, that was worse than me being 15, was me being dressed as a clown.
Yeah, I think we really should move on. Because clown level.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so.
Nope. Back to the
not
show.
That kind. I'm not. What is the chlorophobia?
You cut all of this out.
Wait, is it
it's chlorophobia.
Is it chlorophilia?
Chlorophilia.
I don't have chlorophilia. So I don't have that. Bleach my eyes. What is this? What is this?
Okay.
Bleach my eyes? No, it's not bleach my eyes. Anyway.
Cut this crap
We'll
out.
cut some out. Right, Mario? Yeah, see?
We can cut this out.
Yeah, right. Chlorophilia. Yeah, so what were we even talking about? I think I remember what it was. Actually, we were talking about Mason and your love for him.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember that.
She didn't fall for my trap. Oh, yeah, it's fine. So, okay.
I do.
And we were boiling down Jasmine's like for this episode to Mason being on screen, essentially. And that moved on to the young guy hit on thing and whatever. So
Sharondy's calling it Masonphilia.
Mason. She definitely doesn't have a phobia. Oh man, we're embarrassing Jasmine too much. Okay, so but could you reduce it to just that, or
Yeah, it was the fact that your longevity theory was disproved.
that's science? Science is a series of data points that show you whether your theory is proved or not. And what else gets proven?
So were either of you guys in the camp that because I know there have been lots of theories about Major General Beale possibly being Rick Grimes. Were either of you in that camp?
I never
Well,
was.
he definitely can't be Mason's dad and Rick.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a way you can do it, but it's just so fantastic that
Yeah.
you can't do it. It's just like, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Rick had another life before Lori even. There you go. Done.
No, because I think
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking that.
given the time jump, he'd be younger than Carl but older than Judith. Just doesn't
Yeah.
Well-
Yeah, I agree with that timeline.
Oh, you're saying Mason.
I think if
Yeah.
Carl were still alive, Mason would be
Younger.
younger than Carl right now, but older than Judith.
Good point.
So yeah.
Yeah, disproven.
Yeah.
All around disproven.
But Mario-
Unless Rick had an affair while Carl was 5.
Which is entirely possible. Well, actually, so age-wise, well, that's kind of what I'm saying, though. Second family. But age-wise, I think Carl wasn't supposed to look as old as he did. I mean, when we first meet him, then +2+ years, that's how old Carl was supposed to look like. So, I mean, I would have put Carl at 13 and a half or 14 when he exits the show, but it's...
No, because that's way too young.
I'm comfortable with 14 or 15
But
when he
given
dies.
Carl and Enid's relationship?
Well, I mean, I will agree with Dave. Like, obviously, Chandler was not 14 or 15. He was much older. But based on the timeline that we've tried to nail down, I would say probably like 14 or 15. And yes, I would also say Enid is older than Carl by a couple, maybe a year or two.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've dated older women.
I don't. Not in this world. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
You got to get it where you can find it.
Yeah. And so is it possible? And then, like, by the time 10 years goes by, that means the fall Mason was about 8 or 7, right? Or it could be 6, let's say, which tracks with the age of the other teenagers, let's say, on the show. So the fall 7, 8. So yeah, he had a life before Carl, I guess. I'm not saying this is true. I'm saying if you wanted to cover.
Yeah, I have an even crazier theory than that they could do if they wanted. God, was it Jim Carrey? They did a movie where a guy shows up in this town and he lost his memory, but the whole town convinced him he was this person, and so he like took over this person's life, and they convinced him that of who he was, even though he wasn't this person that everyone told him he was.
Oh, I don't know.
Is this sounding familiar at all? I think I want to say it was a Jim Carrey
I think
movie.
They did that in SpongeBob.
You know, maybe it was a SpongeBob
It's entirely
episode. No, I'm
possible.
kidding.
It could
But
be
what
both, is what I mean.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't Jim Carrey at all, but I swear there was something similar to that storyline. Anyway,
Sounds cool. I wanna watch it now.
crazy, way out there theory. Maybe something similar happened with Rick. I mean, he could have lost his memory, and then this group said, "Oh yeah, this is who you are." And maybe Mason was like placed as his son. I don't know. Again, it's crazy. It's a crazy, wild out there theory. But
in fact, that last bit is the only reason why it doesn't feel like it could be true, because why would Mason go along for this ride?
Go along with it. Yeah. Why would he do that? Yeah. Except maybe he gets perks. Maybe being a general's son gives him perks, freedoms that he's allowed.
But what about like his whole backstory about his like family being disappointed that he's not joining the military?
Dad specifically.
That's true. That's true too. Yeah. I don't want General Beale to be Rick, but let me say that first. I don't want this to happen, but I'm trying to convince myself of ways that it's possible.
Well, and also Mason might not be even his biological son. It could be an adopted son. So...
Sure. Mario and Sharon bring that up too. Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Could he?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
He could be if he's adopted. Yep. And Sharon says the same thing, unless he's adopted.
Or stepson, or whatever. You know, he might have got married in
stepson.
6 years.
Sure. I'm going to reiterate. I don't want it to be Rick, but there are ways that it could be.
Yeah.
Let
me read what Mario's saying. I think this theory goes out of character too much. Rick wouldn't ever be like that Beale guy is. The only reason why I always have this problem with Beale and Rick is where we left off when he went away. I mean, yes, he resolved himself to not be stubborn about the communities trying to be together. You know, I think after his conversation with Daryl, but if he does have some memory loss as a result of blood loss, let's say, he might not remember that conversation. So what does Rick turn into, having tried to unite the communities under one banner? And there is a bit of I'm going to stretch here a little bit, but there is a bit of a parallel to the alliance of the three and the communities that we leave off, right? Okay, so there is like there's Oceanside, too, Sanctuary, Hilltop, Alexandria, the Kingdom, but
it fell.
It fell after the fact. Yeah, after the fact. So you had all these.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
So
did you say Oceanside?
Yeah, I did say Oceanside. I think it was the first one I said. Is it saying something? Sorry. I don't know. Dave's tea. Anyway, so no, but there's the idea of the alliance falling, and then what if Rick went dark in response to him trying to keep things up, but knowing only the one thing that he does know is that he was in the process of trying to keep all these communities together at every single cost. But maybe the last impression that it leaves off with is that's not possible. We need to, and kind of like Michonne not wanting to help the other communities after Scars, I think it was the thing that made her be this way. Now Rick, because it turns out this all is, to Mario's point, have to highlight Mario. His fear was that this was all political. And it turns out that may be the case, even though Huck has not been fully debriefed by Jadis. It seems like that is the case. It's all about competition. It's all about the numbers. And it looks like, and just like true to Walking Dead World Beyond form, the numbers that Portland have, 87,000. You got Campus Colony with 10. You got Omaha with almost 100,000. They do put together have 200,000 people behind their walls, matched with the CR's 200,000 strong that we got from Kubelik in last year in Tiger and the Lamb in the Stinger from Barca, actually, and then here he is again. You're 200,000 strong. So, yeah, turns out that I'm not saying they're right to suss out these other communities or these alliances were ever real or bullshit. Maybe they were all bullshit. I don't know. But it's hard to sink in what this is all about. And maybe we should be afraid. Maybe this is all about politics. Maybe this is all about playing God, about one community, carefully managed, and on a obsessive, compulsive level to surviving. This could have all been that. But the only thing that really bugs me about this, and maybe we can root this out, is if Project Votus was something they developed in year 2. And it seemed like maybe Lila, who was involved, seems like from the beginning of this project, because she even says as they were talking about this, that it's a project that's taken a long time, and she seems like she may have been the one who's been mainly involved in it. Is using all these people, the deaths of these people, just an excuse to test this product out, but also like kill 2 birds with one stone, kill the competition while trying to perfect Project Votus? Or was it never about Votus to begin with? Did Beale even give up on the project and just said, you know what, we can't do anything about the reanimation, but we might as well kill all the other people that might threaten our walls?
Well, Jada still says that Project Votus is still top priority according to Beale. So I don't know that he's given up on it yet.
But what if that's the lie that everybody hears? What if that's the lie that everybody understands? Huck is debriefed by Jadis. So everything that Huck knows about what the CR's purpose had been in terms of campus calling to Omaha being maybe a political move, or most likely a political move, that doesn't track with the importance of Project Votus. She said that in front of Leo, not in front of Huck, in a sense.
No.
Even though when they're looking over Project Votus with Lila, she's still keeping up that ruse, let's say. But then they take out Lila, so seconds later.
But they still want Leo to keep up her research.
Right, so they're saying the things in front of Leo, but in behind closed doors, it basically sounds like... I mean, she says... Okay, let's just cap this off by saying she says this to Dennis. It's all bullshit. Everything we went through is all bullshit. Saving the kids, bullshit. Saving Leo, bullshit. It leads us to believe all this science that Beale wants or wanted from the beginning, it may have been true at one point. But after 8 years... I think Beale doesn't give a shit about Votus. It seems like. Because Huck explaining to Dennis that this is all bullshit indicates that Votus is bullshit.
If he didn't give a shit about it, why would he keep the research
for everybody else?
Yeah.
As a smokescreen. The biggest bullshit smokescreen in history.
So if the priority isn't Project Votus anymore, what is his priority?
Well, irony of ironies, culling and maintenance. It's not just about culling the dead. It's about culling the living.
Jasmine had a really good point before we began today. Like, if you kill everybody, who's left for your communities, basically?
We are the light of the world. It doesn't matter. If they figure this out, they can manage everything on their own, all internally. They can get the genetic... I mean, Lila made a joke about it several episodes back, about, we match you up with your perfect partner, which is I never got to mention this, though. There was another AMC show that did this. It was a little tongue-in-cheek reference to another AMC show. I don't know if I actually said this or if it was just in my notes. They matched people up with their genetic partners. And there was a Netflix show called The One, which is also a play on that. It was a BBC America thing.
Oh, I have that. The One. I have that saved in my list of things to watch.
It's pretty good.
I just haven't gotten to it yet.
So it's a limited series kind of thing. So it's like, I think six or 7 episodes.
Sounds binge-worthy.
Yeah. I don't know what the AMC one was called, though. I know I put this down on my notes because I obsessively looked it up.
If they aren't bothered about the research going on in the CR, why don't they just blow up the CR and not tell the Civic Republic?
I mean, the CRRF or just the whole CR?
Just the CR, they're the only ones that, like, the CRM, why don't they just, like, get rid of the research facility and just not tell the Civic Republic?
Let's all agree that all the gas that they need and have produced is in that facility. It's not anywhere else. Most likely.
Okay, kill Portland and then just blow up the research facility.
Who says that they weren't about to? They just need to get to Portland first. Because if, let's say, the gas fails, or any number of excuses one could have to keep the CRRF around, I'm not saying that Votus is dead. Like, the project itself is dead. I'm just saying that there is no faith in the project, but now the project is being used as a smokescreen. Like, if they happen to find the thing that stops reanimation, okay. But I feel, this is more of an I feel, and the data looks like that this is the case, that Votus is just an excuse to commit genocide at this point. Scientifically backed. And look, all the evidence points to Lila. Why kill Lila? Why?
But surely they can't justify killing hundreds of thousands of people because they only need like one test subject at a time. So how would it even be like a valid smokescreen?
For all Portland knows, the only reason why they were killed was because of a column. But I
Yeah.
love how we figured out that Dr. Abbott found out and that they made it so that wasn't possible.
Yeah.
So I know, I feel you. You're doing the me part of everything where I say, how can that be? What? It doesn't make sense. But that's good that
Also,
it doesn't make sense.
Why are the soldiers of the CRM, why are they all just so chill with killing everyone?
Oh, well, so there's two answers to that. I love your questions. They're so good because it really does go back to what I was saying before. Like, first of all, who designed their helmets? Was it Beale himself? Because I think Beale understands that the executioners, their identities need to be concealed, right? I've mentioned this several times before. They're executioner helmets. That's, you don't judge the executioner. And that's just the pretty flowery poetic answer. But the real answer is they don't know. The chain of command makes it so they don't know. I feel like only General Beale and Jadis, let's say, may know the truth. Oh, and Colonel Kublik, because they're in
Kublik.
Right. The three circles are Beale, Kublik, and Lila. Oh no, I was gonna say Lila Belcher and Jadis. Which isn't that really so crazy odd? If you think about like Jadis swooping into that third circle, her being on the outside, which gives me hope, and we'll get back to that. But they're like Dennis. When Silas confronts Dennis saying, I don't think the CRM is what you think they are, Dennis goes, what you talk about, What you talk about, Silas? What are you do? What is it? So Silas goes, no, you know what? I was just like wrong all around, and goodbye. Dennis is like, oh, I thought I heard something wrong. Oh, you're good. You're a good boy, Silas. You're a good boy. Good boy. Right? That was a weird exchange. But that's endemic of a soldier in the CR. That's endemic of we all think the right thing, right? Like, we trust in our superiors that they know what they're doing. I mean, look at the newspaper, even the CR itself. General Beale has a crazy high approval rating because they feel like he's being transparent. They feel like he's making the right moves. He's like, oh, civilian oversight? Yeah, let's do it. Come on, let's civilian my oversight. Let's do it. So, and then let's do transfer of power to the CR. All right. Yeah, bring on the civilian government. Woo! I'm General Beale. I don't know why my accent's like this. Let's just keep going. Anyway, so you get what I'm saying. Like, there is, I can't wait to meet this Beale. I can't wait to meet this guy now. Oh, unless they do the thing where we'll never meet him. Oh my God. Oh, and why not? Why not? Why not leave something for the movies, right? Mm-hmm. I hate being the bearer of bad news, but it's very possible, don't you think? And it's genius if they do this.
Yeah.
Do you remember like Inspector Gadget? Okay, I'm aging myself again.
Yes.
You never got to see the bad guy, the Claw. Right? That was his name,
Claw.
Mm-hmm. You never got to see him.
Yep.
Nope. Jasmine's like, the fuck shit cartoon these people watch.
This bag, all you would see is his hand petting his cat.
the metal claw with the spiky bracelet thing. Mario says they call themselves the light of the world. I think they're really too far gone and probably want to be the last community standing, the last light of the world, the last light. And well, case in point, I mean, what is a match in absolute pitch darkness? It's the brightest thing you've ever seen, So of course, lights up an entire room. But in order to do that, you have to make the whole room dark, like dark as fuck. That's a really grim thought if you take that outside the context of just being literal. Sharon says when Silas confronts Dennis, ha, that's so personal. Why are you asking me this question? Mario says the soldiers believe the purpose or they are afraid of what they will do to them if they don't believe. Yeah, well, as anything. But I think to further the point, I mean, I think they believe too, just like the CR believes. I think that's the only thing that keeps this whole machine running together, not just fear.
But obviously a certain number of soldiers will have had to have been involved in the whole, setting the gas out, the mass killing of everybody. Surely they know something's up.
But the gas is green.
Well, and most soldiers don't ask questions. They're a soldier, and so they follow orders.
Yeah. What's the quote?
And they're not supposed to question what they're being told.
I was just following orders. Yeah. We alluded to this in the last episode, or the last To Walking Dead World Beyond episode. We said, why does this smell, even though chlorine is odorless, why does it smell a lot like Nazi Germany? Why? Because there's a lot of that going on. too.
Jasmine, you're absolutely right. These soldiers might have a clue of what's going on and just not either not care enough to do anything about it, or, like Dave said, truly believe in what they're doing.
And the in-between.
Or they just put the blinders on and they're like, I'm just doing my job. Just doing my job. Yep.
It's like the Milgram experiment.
The Stanley Milgram. Well, we've mentioned that a lot on this show. Yeah. Well, if you believe you are doing the right thing, you will continue to do bad. That is the crux of the Stanley Milgram experiment.
And it's that you trust the
Yeah.
people.
Oh, yeah. The appeal to authority fallacy. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even though that we now know that study has flaws. However, it did illustrate.
It's been repeated, and it still has very similar results.
Yeah. I was going to say that again. I was going to say that too, because I actually revisited the research, and it turns out yes, there are people that are validated. It's going back and forth again with the research.
It came up in my lecture a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. But the appeal to authority is very real. Influence is real. I mean, we talked about influence. Isn't it strange that we have a con artist, a mentalist, somebody who peddles in influence with our gang, and then we're dealing with it on a huge scale, on a large scale. Percy being that person, and then maybe a con artist knowing the con, and then also like Jadis too. Jadis is not unfamiliar with the con and being subversive, but there is some sort of symmetry here with Percy having knowledge of subverting people's influence, or taking advantage of people's influence, and then you have this whole. Well, as Jadis says, a language. It's not just Jadis who is embedded with others in a junkyard. Although I do want to talk a little bit about that. But specifically, what Jadis says in the last episode goes to the greater purpose of the CR too. Or the CRM more specifically. When you have your own language, or maybe Rachel in your code book thing, like, oh, maybe they all speak in code. If I can have my language, but maybe to your point in a more figurative sense, like when you've developed your own language, you have your own tribe. And when you have your own tribe, you can make your own rules. And sometimes objective morality takes a back seat to like subjective morality, or, the morality of the day. This is what we're doing out here. But let's just touch on Jadis for a second, because the interaction with Silas, I kind of want to get your takes on that first.
I did think it was cute. I liked how she kept talking about his feet, which kind of grossed me out because I don't like feet either. I don't know what that phobia is, but so it kind of freaked me out every time they'd show his feet on screen, and I'm like, bah. But I thought it was hilarious that she was so focused on his feet.
Is it pedophobia? Just kidding. Podophobia. Brought to you by Jasmine C. But what about it was endearing to you? Like, and there's a problem here, because what she's saying here is almost endearing to us, right? Like she's ingratiating herself to us rather than necessarily, because Silas could be very weirded out by why is this bitch talking about my feet? Clompers?
Yeah.
I'm very insulted. Yeah. I'm a man, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but what do you think about that?
It was cute for us to watch, but sort of her demeanor towards Silas, I think, allowed him anyway to feel a little more comfortable. Maybe I don't know. It was really tough because I feel like they were both sort of playing this part, right? Like she's trying to do something specific and he's trying to basically not get Dennis in trouble. I think his goal was to not get Dennis in trouble, or himself, but honestly I think he was thinking more about protecting Dennis in that moment. I did like when Dennis walked in and his reaction to Jadis. I liked that was kind of my favorite part of the scene.
The what the fuck are you doing here?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, are you effing shitting me, or what does he say? He drops a couple of bad words.
Does he? I thought I just said it.
Does he? I
don't think he does,
like,
but it
what
feels
the
like
shit,
he would.
Or are you shitting me?
Yeah, he does say that.
Are you shitting me? Yeah.
Yeah, so what I had written was Dennis knows Jadis, but it feels like he shouldn't have ever seen her again, or not really for a while, which is also, it gives us a sense of time, because for all we knew, Jadis left only a couple years ago. But it was a long time ago, enough for her to get to know new people.
Where? Yeah. Oh, left the
show,
the research facility.
Yeah. No, I meant with Rick.
Well, that was 6 years ago. We know that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying? Like, for us, it feels like not too long ago, but that long ago was like a span of 6 years. Again, feeling a sense of time. Oh, she had enough time to meet other people with which to get close to, but also piss off. So, like Dennis. Yeah. So
she must have been the one that investigated when he messed up.
Could be.
Good call.
Or
Good
in
call.
Training at the very least, right? 6 years is a long time. Or no, this is only 2 years ago, so it could have been her. Sure.
Right.
And maybe as a result of this specific incident could have been the thing that made her rise up in the ranks. Again, she openly admits her ambition and her desire to rise up in the ranks. I want to get that promotion at the end of the year.
We know Huck covered up for Dennis. Does Jadis know that Dennis was ultimately at fault for basically the trainees getting killed? Or does she still think that that was Huck's mistake?
Well, you have to remember that Huck took the responsibility, or tried to take the responsibility for Dennis, right?
Right.
But the downfall was that she didn't wipe the cards, and then so she did a mea culpa, special operation, whatever. So, at the end of the day, and why is that important? Why, at the end of the day, she knows everything. And why is that important? Because she still knows everything. Mm-hmm. This is the one thing that I had said several episodes ago with the whole, when Corporate Pierce was first introduced, that I said, oh, it seems to me like the CR is so confident that they will get what they want, that they will let people do things, quote unquote, under their noses until such a point where they feel like the time is right to take advantage.
This is why I'm very worried about Hook, because I get the feeling that Jadis has intentionally gave her that information to see who she will take it to.
Ultimately, I feel the same way. And you know what? That's when I walked away on second watch from this episode, I almost thought, I'm not 100% in agreement with you, but I did have that same thought as you, Jasmine. I did have that thought of like, I know how these people operate on a personal level and on a professional level. And I know it's perfect that it is me because I was the one to catch them and put Huck in this, or sorry, Jennifer Malik in this special operation. And I'm going to say this, and I don't know if this is true, but I feel like it is, sending Dennis off to be reprogrammed and then sent to the culling facility. Because it does sound like there was a little bit of reprogramming going on. Why do I say this? And I'll get back to this point also, but I say this because there's a really good, just like Barca was very good symmetry for Jennifer in the last episode, Dennis is also good symmetry with Barca in this episode. It shows the wildly different outcomes of what Dennis had to go through, and it took. Dennis was also sent to a reprogramming or reassessment facility, and it worked. But when we see Barca in the first few scenes, he is beat to shit. It looks like he's just healing from having his nose broken, his face busted up. He's just at the edge of healing from that. And now he's here in a research facility. This is the other end of the spectrum. But what does that tell you? It does answer the question that you had, Jasmine. Barca comes to Kublek at the end of Tiger and the Lamb and says, I'm having a problem with what happened. And this is him not knowing what exactly is going on. This is him just asking questions. Look what happens to people who ask questions. Some people get a warning, like Lila and Jennifer Malik. Some people get more than a warning, like Jennifer Malik. Dennis had made a call that just didn't work out. Now, was he supposed to be punished? I don't think so, but it was made worse by Jennifer Malik taking on the responsibility and trying to make up for it by subversion, basically. And it made like what could have been a forgivable call, although albeit somebody was trying to paint the picture that he was drunk on duty and made a bad call. Fine. But it was made worse by trying to, quote unquote, do the right thing for the right reason, or the wrong thing for the right reasons. Why do I say all this? Because, again, it shows that Dennis was sent away, Huck was sent away, and then you get to the end of this episode, like, what was the whole purpose of them being sent away? Him being reprogrammed and sent to the culling facility, her going on a special mission to retrieve scientists, and she says at the end of this episode, it's all bullshit. It's a rat. Using a rat in this episode to illustrate the fact that the rat will get tired and eventually peter out because the dead will eventually catch up to them is a greater metaphor for what's going on here. All the CR is doing is pushing paper around to give people something to do. Because I don't think even they ultimately, at some point, like at the top, General Beale, let's say, they all feel like they're doing something. They all feel like they're trying to get a foothold. But I honestly do not feel in my heart of hearts that Beale believes anymore. The one person that everybody has confidence in, I feel like he's just giving everybody something to do. And it's really making me crazy at this point.
What about refocusing their efforts on trying to stop the current infection? Like, they're trying to find a way for people who die to not reanimate, right? But we're talking about living people. I mean, if Beale was really smart, he'd be focusing his efforts on how to mass wipe out the walkers that already exist, which I realize, that is sort of what they're working on in the research facility. But I mean,
well, that's the other end.
Like
remember, that's what Hope's working
on. Amped up. Yeah, right.
Sort
I
of.
just feel like it should be amped up. Like that project should be the priority.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, sorry. I misspoke. Hope is working on making them break down faster.
Well, yeah, essentially killing them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
She's taking care of it on one end.
Still say
like
that's
the people that are animated break those people down. Walkers down, empties down.
Did you catch the name of the drug that Lila said she was using?
She had said it was basically an algae derivative mixed with chlorine gas, essentially.
Okay, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, now we know why it's green.
That's yeah. Presumably, right? No, the algae is just for color. It's really chlorine gas. It's really chlorine gas. The world is fucked. Everybody hide. The CR is coming to get you. It's a modern day folklore. It's a scary story that you tell at a campfire.
Jasmine's going to correct me. I feel it. I feel it coming. She's going to correct me.
For what?
It's not algae, and here's why.
No. She has a determined face. You know when some people walk, they walk with determination. That's Jasmine 24/7.
It's coming. It's coming. Jasmine's going to put me in my place. I'm waiting for it. She's coming.
All right, let's keep going.
She'll be like, no, algae's not green, and here's why.
It's more of a reddish brown, but that's red-brown algae.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. It's a sort of a real thing, but I don't think I got the name right.
Really?
Shh.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll get the tea. No, I don't want it. No, actually,
the only algae I'm familiar with is what you get in your pool.
The bad, yucky kind. Ooh.
Yeah.
Which
That's
chlorine?
green.
The algae is green. I wasn't looking that up. Just to clarify.
You're still good. Great.
Oh, good.
What I was double checking was chlorine combines with algae and effectively kills algae. So I don't know why I should be mixing them two things.
Yeah. I don't know either. Yeah. Who knows? Science. Mm-hmm. This is sci-fi.
Right. Which is why after a long winter, your pool does fill up with algae because you're not consistently chlorinating it.
I did kind of like the little sci-fi-ness of her pressing a button and gas coming through. It's been a very, very long time since we've seen any of this, and I think that long time is season 1, I think, right? The CDC, essentially. That came even close to doing any sort of science, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Like, even season 1 of The Walking Dead World Beyond.
The Walking Dead.
We didn't really even see in The Walking Dead World Beyond, like, the science at play. And here we're getting that little bit of an eyeful of what we presume is version 6.0 of her lack of reanimation thing, Project Votus.
Yeah, her failing to place EKGs.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, so of course it went wrong. Okay.
Okay, I have a question. So Project Votus is this gas that kills people and then hopefully, ideally, prevents them from reanimating. That's the ultimate goal. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea here is still to take people out. Like this was always going to be a weapon of mass destruction.
Well,
against the living specifically.
What about if it also affects the dead?
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
What about if you set it off in like a big area and it kills all the walkers and all the people?
That's what I'm wondering.
You just drew a very good conclusion, because what would the purpose of this gas be other than to kill the living and make sure they don't come back? How is that?
Right.
What is
unless, like Jasmine said, it works on both living and dead. But we haven't seen evidence of that just yet.
I have to presume, though, that the cocktail that they were using for Omaha and even Barca is a mixture of the poison with the cure. Or not the cure, but so whatever algae derivative they're using is the thing that they will give to normal humans, let's say. So a vaccine, essentially.
Okay.
But again, I am presuming. Mm-hmm. We really don't know.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it really all comes down to what Huck says at the end of the episode with Dennis. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. They don't believe in this project anymore after 8 years. They don't believe in it.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
I don't like that. It does not sit well with me, because that's been the whole plot for the past 2 freaking years. Like, if it's all bullshit, we've wasted 2 years of our life, and that would piss me off.
I like it, though. I'm not saying, hold on, I have to be specific with my words here. I don't like it because it's heartbreaking on a personal level. Like, I'm watching the show and, oh no, this is all political all along, right, Mario? And so I don't like that part. On a narrative level, I'm like, this totally tracks with everything we've seen in 10 years of The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and The Walking Dead World Beyond. There is no cure. There's no avoiding it. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. This is all it'll ever be. So be your ideal self. You're going way out of your way to just say, hey, the world had ended. These are people that are pretending the world didn't end, and that there is something they can do about it, which is very gratifying because we've been sitting here for the better part of, let me see, about 3 or 4 years, having first seen the CR, like really, the CRM, let's say, pretending that they're the be-all, end-all. Like, they are unstoppable, implacable, and yes, for the most part they are, but even knowing that even their bullshit, their farts smell, and they acknowledge that their farts smell, or at least Beale is acknowledging that their farts smell and is saying, well, if we can't solve this zombie virus, we might as well build a community that we can actually properly manage and not have any outside variables. All we can do is take care of our own. And so they're making sure that no other outside forces become a problem for them. Do you know what I mean?
Well, except the dead. I mean, the dead.
But they're trying to account for that factor.
And, right. But like Lila and like Jada say, the dead don't rest. They're never going to rest. So if there's one community left standing, and that's the source of food for these walkers, where do you think they're headed?
Which goes to a small aside that I had, I think this is during our Fear the Walking Dead conversation, for last season, for season 6. I had said, what if in the air, high concentrations of people attract walkers from all directions, let's say. Just generally speaking, in terms of, let's say like a migration pattern. Oh, that's interesting, because they did bring up migration patterns with Dr. Bavilar in the first season.
Yep.
And then to a greater extent, these BO4s, right? Why is it that they keep coming back? There are people here, right? So,
yeah,
I'm not a dummy.
What are these walkers being attracted to?
Right.
Yeah.
High concentrations of people.
Maybe it's like
Rufus?
Rufus?
Yeah. Like how he could smell Wendell from so far away. Maybe the walkers have like super strong smell.
Which goes back to to Sanjay. Smell is the highest order of sense.
Going for the freshest meat, or what did he say? The
smell of blood,
something like that.
Yeah, or like fresh meat or something like that. That's what they're most attracted to. Yeah, not movement, not this, not that. The smell of blood.
And it would make sense that if everything around them is dead except for one community, the only smell would be coming from that community.
Right.
That's where they're all going to converge.
Right. Right.
That would make sense. It makes sense to me.
Sounds have an effect, but when it comes to fresh meat, they will go for the fresh meat, period. So, good job, team.
Sharon D. saying, I thought it was interesting that Jadis called her by her first name instead of her military address when she killed Lila. You mean Jennifer when she said...
Yeah, when she said Jennifer.
Unstrap her, or unstrap the barca. What did she say? I don't remember how she said it.
Cut the restraints is what she said.
Yeah.
And then
but you're right. She did call her by her name instead of, that's got to mean something.
Right. And she even noted in the episode, when they first met, she wouldn't call her by her first name. She called her Warrant Officer Stokes. Who did she say this to? Who was she talking to when this happened? Frank Newton?
No, he was talking to her.
Oh, is that what she was? She was telling Huck that she wouldn't call her by her first name?
Yeah.
What does it say?
She said, you still won't call me by my first name after...
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But what do you think that
when they meet in the lobby area or whatever. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she mentions in this episode, is that what you're referring to as well? She mentions that in this episode, it was mentioned.
In this episode, she calls Jennifer by Jennifer's first name, is what Sharon D was saying.
No, but in this episode, she even... Jadis makes mention that Jennifer wouldn't call me by my first name when we first... But who was she talking to? Dennis? Dennis. I think she was talking to Dennis. When I first saw your wife, she wouldn't call me by my first name. I think that's what it was. It was Dennis.
Maybe.
No, I'm saying this because out loud, it was mentioned out loud. And maybe we didn't register with us or whatever. I feel like, again, there was something going on here. The very thing that made this whole series happen has something to do with Dennis and Huck and what they've done and Jadis' involvement and rats in a cage, essentially. This whole project. Yeah. And then where does Jadis lie in all this? Is she in the inner 3 circles of Kublek, Jadis? And which also says it's very possible that Kublek is, Kublek may still be in the middle. Kublek may be on behalf of the public, let's say the CR. She too does not believe. And furthermore, she's like, fuck this Beale guy. I'm going to get enough info on him so that I can expose him. Because where is she? I know we're going to see her. I don't know that we're going to see her in the next episode, but I know that I saw some teasers into the next episode and that we do see her. I had said that the whole team was going to save her, and maybe she is the key to saving everybody, because Portland is, as of the end of this episode, doomed. There's no way to get to them on time. There's no communications from here will be picked up, which brings back what we see in the newspaper, the CRBC extending their range not just for communications, but probably to intercept communications so that Portland will never hear it coming. They will never see it coming. So, yeah, I don't know what to think about that.
I keep going back to the picture we see on Kublet's desk of Huck's dad. We now have a face to Huck's dad. For some reason, no, it can't be Beale, because otherwise Huck and Mason would be related. But then again, we've never seen an interaction between those two. I don't know. I'm expecting Major General Beale to be someone that we have seen their face. And I think
Maybe it's Negan.
Maybe it could
Quite
be Huck's
impossible.
dad, though.
I mean, we've said this before, too. I don't know if that makes sense, because where does Malik come from? Dennis?
What if it's Madison?
But that's not true.
Dennis.
It's not true. Because
No, you're right, because she was Malik before
and
she
Drake
got married.
and all that. Yeah. So we know that's not true.
What if it's Madison?
What if it's Madison? What is it, season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead where we're going crazy? Guys, I literally heard a
You
clip.
guys- You guys,
What if the big bad is Madison? In Fear the Walking Dead
No,
season 5.
No,
You have to-
of the whole Walking Dead universe. What if the big man is Madison?
And remember, he
You
is a
have to cut
he.
the-
So
you have to cut this out. But that comes up with our chat with Alex. He says, "What if Eli is Madison?" You need to cut this out.
who said
Cut that
that?
out.
He did?
Alex did, yes. Yeah.
That's pretty cool that he's that into the show to know that.
We kind of you know
Baited the hook.
guided him to this. Yeah, we sort of threaded that needle for him, but yeah, he was on board with it.
Further proof that Madison is dead.
No, Eli is Madison. He's gonna unzip his Eli costume and Madison's inside.
Yeah, but we're going to be airing this after that episode. Our coverage. So even then Madison is dead because Eli dies at the end of the. So we don't see a body.
That's
no,
part.
we do
That's
see
part
a
of
body.
the. Nope, that's part of the. That's you gotta. I just wait till I send it all to you. Nope,
Yeah.
Eli's alive. Hashtag bring back Eli.
We can't keep doing this. Let's bring up Sharon D's take.
The first thing I want to say is I am really enjoying the show a hell of a lot more than I did at the beginning of the season. They have really, really cranked it up. I'm more excited to watch 208 than I was to watch Fear this morning. So Huck is the reason I am into this show right now. Like, I feel so bad for her. She is just caught in between everybody. Everybody hates her. I feel like she's trapped by everybody. No matter which way she turns, there's an enemy, and she's just stuck in the middle. And it's not like she did anything to really put herself there. She was just doing her freaking job. You know, she was escorting this kid to New York. She is so complex and so layered, and Annette is just doing a fantastic job putting across Huck's insecurities and her fears.
Do we all agree? Like, do we like Huck?
Oh yeah, Huck yeah.
Huck, yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I like.
One of the only good characters.
I like Huck. I mean, I have my favorites, but it doesn't really matter. But she's not one of them. But I do like. But it's nice that we were able to see from a couple episodes ago how she was basically getting screwed on all sides. Essentially, the kids don't like her. Leo had shot some really disgusted glances towards her today, like right from the onset. Oh, it's you. Oh, of course it's you. Mm-hmm. And then Lila comes in and it's like, oh, I like Huck better. Wait, Lila. Goodbye, Lila. Anyway, but yeah, you do get to see it on all sides. And if it happens to be that Dennis rats are out, oh my God, Heartbreak City. But I don't think that's going to happen. Ooh. But then there is also that everybody hates Huck. Silas with a weapon grips it tighter. That little culling and maintenance weapon. Mm-hmm. So, but let's be real here. Do you feel like Silas is going to wreck Huck's life in the next episode? Because I just can't feel it. I don't know. What do you? So you're Jasmine's shaking her head too. I have to say I don't feel the same way. Only because wouldn't it be something if Jadis looking at Silas going, I have a good feeling about you, ties in very well to what Silas may do to Huck in the next episode. Right? Wouldn't it be something if Jadis giving Silas the nod made it so that Silas could do something to Huck? And Silas doesn't have the same hang-ups as he did about killing things that he did in the first season. I don't think so. Again, fishing expedition. But narratively, what if Jadis is foreshadowing? Just like, kind of like Lila seeing her reflection in Barca's test subject area. We had said this about Madison when she was looking at the car in Just in Case, or is it Just in Case?
Yeah,
Just in Case. She saw her reflection in the walker, thus illustrating that, her death is coming too. It was superimposed oddly onto her face. And so we saw that here also. We saw that their end was almost exactly the same. We saw that her end was met in the same place that Barker's was. And to further the point of that, the CRM knowing everything, Jada seems to recite the exact same words she uses when she explains to the kids, these walkers are perpetual. They don't stop moving. The rat will eventually tire out, is what she exactly says. And so, again,
we know Jadis was listening, and she knows
to everything.
Everything. She knows.
Corporal Pierce knows everything.
A few episodes ago, when we first see Jadis in the stinger, and she's talking to Lila, you had mentioned how odd it was that she stood there and talked with her mask on, with her helmet on. And you had said,
that's fucking rude.
I'll miss. Well, yes, it was rude. Not just that, but that she was acting like an executioner, right? And you were basically predicting that Jadis would kill Lila, and that's exactly what we see here. So points to Dave,
which is again, I not in the way I'd wanted.
Right. Well, but you were right. I mean, you saw the writing on the wall.
Well, and even Jada says it at the end. She says, "Well, that's kind of what was. We knew that's what was happening, and it was only a matter of time. And maybe they wanted to just find an excuse to install Leo instead. 2 pressure points. So you know what, Lila has had her time. It's been 8 years, Lila, or maybe less, but probably 8 years. You're useless to us. You're not getting any results done. 8 years is a little too long. I mean, I kind of agree with that. No, I'm kidding, but no, I don't agree with the results. Going back to Silas." I don't want to think that Silas could inadvertently, without him knowing all the details, take out Huck, and then where would that leave Dennis?
Well, Dennis isn't going to let that happen,
No, I don't think so either. No matter what.
I don't think so. I think they left us on this beautiful cliffhanger of, oh gosh, what's he going to do? And nothing's going to happen. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. Huck's going to smooth it over with her words.
Well, then it almost makes me upset because if we all feel like that's not going to happen, why would you even do it?
To get our anxiety. Do you feel what I mean? This is how you get excited. Yeah, absolutely. This is how you get excited for the next episode. You need to leave the viewers with like a
could they
moment.
No.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, so I have a funny feeling I didn't watch the end of the episode.
Oh no!
You may have missed Percy catching up with Huck at the end.
Yeah, okay. And then she went to Dennis.
Went to Dennis. And then
after her and Dennis talk,
as Jennifer is leaving the culling and maintenance facility, she turns to Silas and sees him, and she goes, "Kid, we have a lot to talk about." And Silas, it just shows a shot of Jennifer, but from Silas's back, and you see him grip his weapon tighter.
Very foreboding, like.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have a way with words. I'm lucky.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm lucky. Yeah, but that's specifically what we're talking about. But you still stand with the same statement that Silas is not going to. Okay, but that's the thing. If it's obvious to us, why even do it? I don't know. That's why it bothers me, because, and not for the reasons you think, because it gets in my head that if they're even bothering to do this, something will happen. I don't know what. Something will happen. Otherwise, it was stupid. It was just
something
dumb
will
and
happen,
stupid.
like between
Imagine
Huck
he
and
kills Dennis.
between Huck. Yeah, between Huck and
Silas.
I know. I was thinking
something
the same thing.
Physical.
Out of these three, Agent Dennis is the expendable one.
Yeah. What if Silas just kills Dennis? You lied.
Why isn't Silas expendable? Hold on. Let's think about this for a second.
Because he's Silas. You shut your mouth. Silas is not going anywhere.
I don't think they'd get rid of Silas.
Expendable. Okay, I see. So expendable to you, not okay.
Correct.
Fine, I get it.
Yes.
Okay, I meant in the greater. So why is
speaking
Dennis
as a viewer.
Expendable?
Because we just met him. We're not all
we
that
don't know
attached
him.
to
Fuck
him.
him.
Yeah, he's new.
I don't think it's about expendability. I just think a logical decision process could be Silas is fuck you with her,
yep.
Kills him before knowing the full picture, and then Hook is left to pick up the pieces.
But that
maybe restrains him, explains it.
But even that, so you're saying accidentally, right? Because I do feel a lot of love between
or
Silas
in a
and
rage.
Dennis.
Yeah, in a rage.
Silas could feel like Dennis has been playing him the whole time too. Maybe Silas will feel like Dennis has been spying on him for
exactly.
Huck.
That's exactly what I mean.
Although I just don't think. Yeah, I don't know. And then we have to remember that he's a kid too, right? So
Impulses, yeah.
Impulse, yeah. Okay, that tracks.
And he's a teenager, so he knows he's a
And
psychopath.
obviously, he's done something similar to that before,
Something, yeah. Well,
given his background.
or at least that's the assumption. I mean, we've seen the truth. The truth, though, he was just defending his family and couldn't do it 100% successfully. And now all the people that he cared about anyway are dead. So,
What if he thinks that killing Dennis is protecting his family?
it depends on what he thinks about. Because it all comes from Huck. That's the thing. Dennis is secondary, but Dennis being aligned with Huck is primary. So.
Oh yeah, I think for Silas, killing Huck would be him protecting his family. I mean, if he considers Percy part of that family, I guess, you know what I mean? If she's capable of doing this, then she could do it to somebody else, and so I have to take her out before she kills Iris, really, is probably what he's thinking.
I'm glad I got into your heads because honestly, doing that when all of us feel like that nothing will happen is stupid. But now that they've done it, it makes me think that they're going to do something stupid, meaning Silas is going to attack somebody. So I'm sorry. It just makes me weirded out, and I feel like you shouldn't do that if you're not going to do anything about it.
I still don't think they're going to do anything, to be honest. 100%. I think this is a
2
huge
episodes
if.
left?
This is a huge
3?
if. Even if they start this next scene right there, I still don't think anything's going to happen. What I think is going to happen is we're going to jump forward in time, and we're either going to be in the middle of the conversation that Huck and Silas are having, or they will have already had
stupid.
it. And I know, but we have seen this happen.
As much as I don't want Silas to kill anyone, imagine how cruel it would be to see someone killed with one of them pokey things.
Besides a walker.
A living person?
Yeah, like a person. Like, imagine how sick it would be.
I know. It's just horrific. But I guess, okay, let's take that on the extreme. Fine. If that were to happen, that would also honestly show the cost of what this rat race that's been imposed on everybody involved in this project has wrought. And that's poetic, it's sad, and it tracks. Again, with the Walking Dead universe. It does somewhat track. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. But here we are. And you know what? I think, honestly, if you really track and gauge the fans, I think they would like it too. If it's hard to argue that they wouldn't like it. I mean, they won't like it as, ooh, yay, people just randomly dying. No. But like in terms of like, okay, we can get past this if there's a purpose to it, or if there's if this all means something in the end. I don't know. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
If the ends justify the means,
The thing is, though,
sorta.
and I hate to say this, but AMC would never allow World Beyond to be like, yay, we've cured everything.
Oh yeah, no.
Because of what it would mean for the other shows.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's why I use the word meaning, because purpose implies an end goal. Meaning means, okay, what is Silas killing, let's say Huck, God forbid, right? What does that mean for everybody else? What does that do to everybody else? And then some of that's good, some of that's bad, who knows? But there has to be meaning to it. Not like a goal, like a cure sort of thing. Anyway, so we say this with everybody, like Glenn not dying, it means that, or Glenn dying, that means something, and means our gang goes a certain direction, and unfortunately. But anyway, so let's continue with Sharon D's say, because she's going to say something that I think we're all going to have to talk about at some point.
Whoa.
That being said, Huck and Jadis together are totally rocking my world. I love them so much. They are the reason I love this show right now. I did not like Jadis on Walking Dead, but this Jadis, is this her 16th different somebody or something? I don't know, but I am digging this Jadis. And her and Huck together, their scenes are just really dynamic, and you just never know where you know where Huck stands, but you just don't know where Jadis stands, and I love that not knowing. It's exciting. It makes it fun. I'm pretty sure she's probably going to die by the end.
What do you think about... Okay, Huck and Jadis, I happen to agree. Yeah. I had written it in my notes. I said, you know what, as much as I don't like this fuckery, those two work really, really well together. Don't you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am just like on pins and needles every time I see Huck and Jadis together. Like this intricate game of chess between the two of them. Like this one makes a move and then that one makes a move. But like it just, oh, yes. Unfortunately, I do agree. I think we may say goodbye to Jadis by the end of the season.
I don't know what to think. I'll be really, really honest with you. And I'll tell you why. Because there is a scene that we have not yet seen in this series that feels like it's going to be a flashback of Jadis in some sort of war theater.
Oh,
because
when
you do
she's
see her
under the tent?
In a tent.
And she turns around? Yeah. Yep.
And a lot of people are speculating that she is addressing General Beale in this one. I'm not sure. I doubt it. I feel like they are going to keep Beale to the vest, either all the way to the very end or in the movies. I feel like they're not ready for that casting yet, or some sort of thing.
Is there even a script written for the movies yet? Have they done anything besides throw it out into the world, like talk about it?
I believe there is a script.
Okay.
I know that
makes me
been
feel
under
a little
development.
better.
Yeah, I mean, they can't have been developing this for over a year. They must have had it.
We've been hearing about these movies for like 4 years, maybe longer.
Yeah, I just don't.
Maybe even
I just
longer.
don't think they've been developing it for this long. It doesn't make sense to me. And also, like, I don't know, in terms of all the plot points between all the other Walking Dead universe shows, and then trying to factor all of that into the movies. Ultimately, I don't know what this is going to be. So I have to imagine that there is a script that is constantly being revised. I mean, if you've ever heard of the story of Die Hard's script was, it only had like a couple of pages, and they kept writing it as the movie was filming. Yep. So I can see this being sort of the same way, rewriting to adjust for the greater universe. But then you have the chief content officer and being involved, Scott Gimple. So he knows where all the plot points are supposed to hit. I do like the interplay between Jadis and Huck. I do. On a watcher level, it's good to see them work together. On the other hand, there is something that bothers me about it, in that I feel like Jadis is playing Huck the entire time. Like, she almost basically admits it. She says, yeah, I wanted you to do this. I wanted an excuse to do the thing we already knew about, which leads Huck to ask, so you're testing me again. You and my mom had been testing me. For what? For what?
Loyalty, right? It's a loyalty test. Mm-hmm.
All right. The initial test with Kubelik was, just to remind everybody,
Hope.
Her allowing Hope to be thrust out into the wild to see if Jennifer would stop her. Didn't. And there you go. She cut the restraints from Barca, empty Barca, to attack Lila. And I did. You did feel her kind of say, "Would you say, Jadis? What you want me to?" Because I saw like a Huck in that moment go, "I'm cool with doing bad to do good, but what good does this do?"
Yeah.
Really though. Really, right?
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, we know that Lila and Dr. Abbott were a team working on this secret project. So I guess I was assuming Lila and Leo would also be a team, but that's not how it's playing out.
I had to think on that one too. It's because I wrote this in my notes before I figured it out. I said, Jadis, she's a good egg. Like in my head, I'm like, because here she is. She's laying out this like really interesting gravel, like for them to walk on. You know what, Leo? We've had our falling outs, right? You violated the rule 16 times. I didn't give you your interrogator. There's a lot that's been happening here. Lila showed me this. She brought back the sample. Like, we know things have happened, but you know what? Let's bygones be bygones. Let's start from scratch. I'm going to give you back Felix, your Mr. Carlucci, your security detail. Here are your daughters. I know they were involved, but here, you know what? They're fine. Everybody's cool. Lila's even cool. Cool. Everybody's awesome. We're going to let you guys continue working on the thing, blah, blah, blah. I wrote in my notes really quickly. I said, maybe she's a good egg, It's like, I'd seen the episode already, but even then I was just kind of like, this seems awfully odd. Like that she must be on our side. Turns out later, when in fact, and I really do think if General Beale sees that there's a result with this whole lack of reanimation project, I think General Beale will go, okay, well, this changes everything. Fine. Okay. Maybe this could work. This whole thing that we thought up 8 years ago, maybe this can actually work. But seeing that it doesn't, she gotta go. And so it's genius, because I thought to myself, whatever happened to just one, right? Negan, just one, to make an example. And I went down the list of people that Jadis could have taken out, that just one, to get Leo motivated. And I thought Felix. And I was like, okay, whatever. I thought the kids, nah. But what is the just one? Lila. The just one is Lila. Why does that make sense? It's exactly like what you were saying. It's almost exactly like what you were saying about Dennis. Well, she is the weakest. Well, hey, she says it herself. I'm off to find weak links. Do. And true to form, the weakest link is Lila. She's not a direct family member. Felix Carlucci is one of the last remaining people from Campus Colony. But she doesn't know, maybe, she doesn't know that Leo looks at him like a son, Mm-hmm. But enough so that if she had even deigned to touch any of those kids, Leo would most likely revolt. But Lila, having lied to him, having concealed her, she went to Kubelik, right? Talking about your daughter. Did she? And he acts surprised. He has this face of shock. And we know it's acting, though, because he knows, because Lila told him she went to... Oh, which I thought was brilliant. I did a double take. I'm like, you are good, Leo. But what else is he rolling his eyes about when it comes to Huck? Like, rolling his eyes at Huck, is that acting?
Yeah.
So I wonder. I really wonder.
I like the part where Huck questions him about where people were, and Leo's like, Felix was with you, remember?
Oh,
Huck.
yeah.
He was with Huck.
Yeah.
On patrol.
And I think it was an act. I had a thought about this. I'm like, oh, Leo, you dropped the ball. You said loved, not love. Mm-hmm. But maybe he was planting seeds for Lila to ultimately get killed too, and it worked.
Wait,
like if Lila were to screw him
Leo
in this moment,
wanted to get Lila killed?
Not killed. I don't think he wanted to get in trouble. I don't think anything would have happened to her.
Yeah, but I think he knows that when you get in trouble with the CRM, that means your life. I mean, could mean your life.
But I think he's even heard Lila say, "Oh, you and me are not expendable." You know, so maybe he thought if he defrayed a little bit, and maybe he didn't think that they would kill her. Maybe he still doesn't know she's killed. Who knows? Oh, she's been recalled indefinitely. Oh, Lila.
Ooh, what if they do lie to him and say she went somewhere instead of, or more accurately, reassigned somewhere, because she wouldn't just leave. But if they say we reassigned her somewhere else.
Yeah. But you know what? Lila said the same thing about Dr. Abbott. Oh, he went back to Portland. Oh, his family's... Same goes for Leo, right?
But Leo, as far as we know, still doesn't know the truth about Abbott, though. He might still think he's back in Portland.
But he will.
Right? He's about to find out.
Unless they liquidate that walker. I mean, if they did, the ruse is still going.
But the footage is still there. I mean, there's still footage of what they recorded, Dr. Abbott, the observation
and then
footage.
He does know the truth anyway, because if Portland is on the chopping block anyway, I think he's kind of put together...
He's going to have to find that out. They're going to have to tell him, right? Well, I guess maybe they don't have to tell him.
Oh, you know what? She tells the girls, oh, he was threatening to expose them. So they all know the story.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah. They'll tell
the girls
Leo.
know that he was threatening to expose them. Yep. We got a lot this episode, didn't we?
Whew. Oh, I really liked the line that Jadis delivers to Leo, and she asks him, "Are you motivated?" It's not enough just to force him to do the work. She wants him. I don't know. Maybe I interpreted this.
To want to do it.
Yes, thank you. Maybe I
just
interpreted
like Dennis.
It strangely, but she wants him to want this, not just work under duress, but actually want results, or, like, are you motivated to do that? I just thought that was a really interesting line. It wasn't about, we're going to make you do this. It was, we want you to want this.
Much like Dennis says to Silas, too.
Yeah. Yes.
So then maybe we have all the proof we need to know that Jadis might be one of those good soldiers that Silas mentions. You're one of the good ones.
One of the good
ones. Which
I
like. I love hearing that, because it reflects what Hope says about the general CR. There's got to be good people here. They're scientists.
Yep.
They're not culpable. They're innocent.
So shut up, Iris. They're not all evil.
And Dennis, and so to Silas's point, there must be good CRM soldiers. It's a stretch, I know, it's whatever, but that's what Silas says.
I'd be willing to say most of the soldiers are good people, because they are just following orders. They're not making these decisions. They're doing what they're told.
I'm having a hard time with that one.
I'm
really having a hard time with that one.
I mean, if this is the only option to survive, you're going to do it, right? Because that means do this or die.
It does go to science, though. And even, so, like, let's talk Stanley Milgram experiment, the peddling influence, the idea of the appeal to authority. But then even going further than that, there's influence in general, human nature. There are these debates about free will. How much free will do we actually have? The jury's out. You don't have free will. Everything is predetermined.
Right. And Iris, the third degree that Iris gives to Lila, I'm like, shut up, Iris. Like, Lila's options were shut up and do your job or be killed. Of course she's going to shut up and do her job.
Yeah. To Barca's point, like, if you look at Barca's speech, he gets the glory of this episode. Blood and lies. That line, blood and lies, comes from Barca's lips just as he's about to get killed. And congrats to Al Calderon. He comes back in a blaze of glory. He gets the best line of it, because the whole thing is about admissions. Like, okay, we only have one life, and we got to make it count. This is like the original tagline of the series too. We got to make it count. Elton really kind of gets this one too. He gets this point because he does say this, if I only have one life, I want to see it before I go. I want to see the world as it is before I go, or maybe before we fix it. I don't know. I want to see it for what it is before maybe everything goes back to normal even. I am stretching because it's clearly not going that way. The whole thing that Barker really says, and I love the symmetry between he and Dennis, where Dennis kind of goes back to the soldier, to being the soldier. Barker goes the other way. Barker takes his individualism back. He goes, I see this for what it is. I see what's going on here. You guys meant well at one point, but it didn't take a lot to go another way. This reminds me a lot, and I paid close attention to this because my family came from Syria. My family were Jewish refugees seeking political asylum in the United States. So when I saw the Arab Spring, I saw the same exact thing happen. The people in my family had the most unique insight into what happened there. When I first saw it, I saw it as a really cool thing, a chance for there to be some sort of level of just something resembling democracy in Middle Eastern countries, rather than theocracy or autocracy. But like all well-meaning things that have a hard time flourishing, they get co-opted by bad actors. And we've been seeing that for the last couple of years in many respects with many different movements. And I don't mean to get political or anything like that, but there are facts on the ground that it was started as one thing and it got corrupted and co-opted as the other thing. So goes this whole lab experiment, the whole purpose of Project Votus had well-meaning intentions about, getting a foothold into getting things back to normal. But it only takes one thing, one person at the top with bad intentions to say, well, maybe we can do this while we're at it. Maybe we can, take out this community here. Maybe we can take out that community there. Maybe we can remove the competition while we're doing the good thing. But that's all it takes. One person with self-interest to fuck everything up. Fuck everything up. Blood and lies. How much blood does it have to take to topple the whole project down? Because how much of your soul do you have to parcel off for this to be even worth it? This is why Barker's saying what we do now matters. We've sold our future, but what we do now matters. We're in hell now, so everything we do now counts. Lila, wake up. Wake up. What you're doing right now is not working. You were lied to, and you're still not seeing the truth. Jasmine, do you agree that Jadis might be on the chopping block? That Jadis will die in this series? I don't know either. I'm really not sure. Feels almost wrong to bring somebody back after they've been gone this long.
It all depends how the series ends, and I think that's still very up in the air.
Oh my god, isn't that a great place to be?
Well, let me ask. Can I ask a different question? Do either of you?
Please.
Do either of you believe Jadis when how she explains to Huck that she believes in the CRM? Does she truly believe in the CR and the CRM and what they're doing?
I think she's just looking out for her own self-interest. She's all on board the CRM train as long as it keeps benefiting her. It's like the whole thing of I just want a promotion. I think she just genuinely just turns a blind eye to it because it's like, well, I'm getting food, I'm having fun, I'm messing with people.
So as long as she's climbing that ladder, she's okay with what's happening.
As long as she's got a full meal in her stomach and some toilet paper, she's not too bothered what's going on.
Okay, so my next question to that would be, don't you think that makes her a bad guy? Turning a blind eye to the genocide?
Yeah.
This is all you, Jasmine.
I'm gonna go with yes.
I'm gonna say that she has bought in. She does believe that they're the only. If anybody, they're the ones that can maybe get some sort of foothold into everything. So she believes in their messaging. Does that not mean that she'll do anything within the purview of the CR to benefit herself? Nope. She'll do whatever it takes. Fine. You can still believe in that. You can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
I think that Jadis is Morgan.
You gotta explain that. A lot.
Okay.
A lot. She doesn't die? Oh, she won't die.
Ooh.
Sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
What I mean is, I think, Jadis was out in the world. She saw all of her people die. And I think, the whole, watching everything that happened when she was with, the main show people, I think that, completely was, her, villain origin story. Like Morgan when Dwayne dies. And now she's just completely in this kind of mess. But she just needs, some... she just needs a stick and some...
But
I think... What I'm saying is, I think she can come back.
Okay. So you're saying she's gone a certain direction, and there's a chance she could come back to the side of the
So
angels.
Jadis is in clear mode right now?
I see. Clear mode.
Yeah, Jadis is in
Her version.
Jadis
Okay.
is in clear mode, and she
Okay.
needs a guy with a goat.
Okay, I like that.
So then
I like that.
the question around, I don't know that I'm along with this ride, but like in your estimation of the people on the board, who would that be of our people?
Right.
Is it Jennifer?
Explain the question.
Like, who would be
Eastman in this scenario.
for Jadis? Leo?
What if
Dennis?
we haven't met our Eastman yet?
I
We
mean,
only got
hey,
3 episodes to go.
the real Eastman
maybe it's Rick,
came out
but
of
maybe
nowhere.
it's Rick.
Maybe it's Rick.
Why
Maybe
wouldn't it
it's
be Rick? I mean, Rick. She saved Rick.
Because
Rick
she knows Rick and
returns
she
a
saved
favor.
Rick.
Mm-hmm.
And
She
then,
And who better
him,
to
and
teach
then,
morality?
and then when
Her,
Rick is
yeah.
Major General Beale, it will all make sense.
Oh no! Well, so let me expand on what I was saying before. I do think she believes in the cause. I think she will be Jadising, kind of like Neganing, right? The same principle. Because if we're going to pretend like there's order amongst the chaos, Jadis is going to just walk through the raindrops. She'd be like, I know what's going on here. But let's pretend like I'm on board. Like, I think she really does believe it. I think also, if you think order has been restored yet, you haven't met Jadis. That's what I think. Because this is all going to go back to what I didn't expand on when Jadis and Silas meet. I think the thing that we have to recognize in Silas and Jadis meeting is that they're both clearly outsiders, or they've always felt like they will always be outsiders, no matter how many times Silas will meet a Dennis in his life, or like a Marco Voce, who does accept him, kind of like his uncle, and who was also in a maintenance facility, kind of redoing the past. I don't know about the good feeling that Jadis has about Silas. I don't know what that is at all. That's the only reason why I linked him destroying Huck is very useful to her. Maybe that's the good feeling. Foretelling the future. I don't know. I don't want to say that's true. Let's just leave that out in the ether for it to be out there in the ether and know. And I'm not committed to this thought. But what I do see is 2 outsiders. Silas having the potential to be that outsider to see things for the way they are. Just like Jadis being an outsider in whatever community. I think even with the junkyard people, even though she was a person in leadership, she had made it up. They don't know the real me. Those trash people don't know the real me, and they never will. Mm-hmm. I made them up. I built them. I made them, and I saw them tumble down. The only person I was real with, in any capacity, was Father Gabriel. And I think that's kind of sweet. And I think that will never happen again unless Father Gabriel happens to show up somehow and then wrecks her shit up. Or maybe he's the Eastman. I don't know.
Or maybe she'll find her own grace.
Oh, like Morgan. I'd like to make that clear for people who don't watch that show.
I would just like to double down on my Jadis' Morgan thing. Morgan believed that he needed to clear everyone and everything, just like Jadis.
And the CR writ
and
large.
the CRM, obviously.
Yeah.
The CRM are like, let's kill everyone and everything. That was Morgan's philosophy, and Jadis is buying into it.
I'm just clearing the dead. That's all I'm doing.
So the CRM couldn't come back, the whole of the CRM.
No, is Jasmine saying the CRM could be redeemed? Is that what you mean?
Everyone can be redeemed.
Oh, Jasmine.
If you fully
you
fully buy into Morgan's philosophy, everyone can be redeemed. That's why
I do feel like that about the
Morgan.
soldiers. But I mean, Major General Beale, it seems like he's the one calling the shots. So I'm not sure about a redemption for
Or steering the ship,
him. Yeah.
Aw.
The stick.
Jasmine's showing everybody Morgan. Season 4 or 5, whatever, Morgan.
Season 4, 5, whatever.
I don't know, whatever. Walking Dead,
Season,
Morgan.
Season 4.
That kind of brings me to Iris and Percy. As Percy has his encounter, let's talk about Percy for a second. Percy has his encounter with Huck and comes away feeling rattled. He comes back to the family with the plans, and Huck and Percy have this interplay about, again, both being sort of on the outside, really, a little bit, just a little bit, because Percy is sort of on the inside of Iris's vagina. So, but anyway.
Can I just say while we're on this topic, I literally wrote in my notes, Iris plus Percy equals cringe.
Ugh.
But let me get to that first, though, because it seems like we do a lot of, and I like that we do a lot of cleanup and catch up at the end, where Huck is relaying this to Dennis, Percy's relaying this to the family roundtable. Everybody seems to be now on the same page of what's going on. Throughout this entire series, we're like, what is this for? What is this about? Why did they kill all these people? Why is the CRM the way they are? But now it seems like we have at least a very, very much clearer picture of what's going on. And now so does everybody else, except for Silas. but now that we know what we know, Hope saying in this family roundtable, except the scientists. We got to get them out. Mm-hmm. There's some people here that needs to be saved. And
I love how they don't mention the kids, like the students who are attending.
No,
like...
I think they imply the kids and the student. They're throwing that whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's what I got out of that. Yeah.
You think Hope would leave Mason behind? Come on, Rachel.
I don't know. She did just find out he's Major Beale's son, so her feelings
Which
may
is
have
now I call him Mason General Beale. We called it a couple episodes ago too.
Yeah.
Like Mason General Beale.
Just like Hook, you can't choose your parents.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yep. There's so much more we can say
about
about
Mason.
that.
I almost wonder if he's gonna, I don't know, do something, be a big part later.
He's the best
maybe
character.
he's got some information in his head that we don't know about yet.
It makes me think that, like, we all have this thought that Mason is going to go along with the kids. As soon as Hope spills the beans about what his dad may have wrought on her own community, and by extension, Omaha, we all seem to think that Mason is going to cop on. But what if he doesn't? What if he takes the guilt and shame about him not pursuing the same military track as his dad as an opportunity to get in line with, to get in his father's favor or his graces? Because we all have this need to please our parents, though.
Sharon D is saying Mason equals Dakota, and Jasmine is emphatically disagreeing.
But let's talk about that just a little bit. Only because we don't know what's going to happen. But why do you say that, Jasmine? Do you feel like because you like him, but is it like more than that?
Why would he be Dakota?
Well, I'm not saying Dakota, but like what I just said.
Sharon D is saying that Mason is like Dakota in the sense that he's a kid that lives in proximity to information. So he may be overhearing and
really, because he's not with his dad.
Do we know that?
Well, does his dad live at the research facility?
We have no idea where Major General Beale is. We we have no idea.
Well, he's in the city now. We do know he's in the city.
Do we?
This main CR city. Yep, because of the newspaper.
Well,
and
he was
where he made the
there
announcement
at
from.
that time. He was there at that time. The announcement was made.
It's a safe
We don't know where
assumption.
he's at now.
Oh, you might be right. You might be right. You're right. You might be right. It's a safer assumption, but at the same time, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't. Well, let's say where he's not. It doesn't feel like he's at the research facility. At least, I mean, everybody
we
would kind of be
him around in the corridors.
Or
we
like
also don't know what he looks
somebody
like.
would have said,
You're right. Maybe we
Yeah, that's
have.
true.
Maybe we have seen him, and we have no idea because we don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Maybe he's Leo.
Maybe Eli's Madison. What?
Maybe he's the other guy in the picture that we saw in season 1, where it was Leo, Abbott, Lila, and Mystery Man. We haven't seen that guy.
You know what? No, we saw that guy in the last episode, though.
Oh, in the very beginning. Yeah. But we haven't seen him
he's-
since. So where is this guy? Is he?
He's definitely not a son.
Is he Cadaver Chum?
What is his? Yeah, I think so. What do you think? I don't think that's Beale. Beale's not a scientist.
No.
He's a military guy.
No.
Mason makes that very clear.
No, I know.
Wait, what if Beale is Dennis?
Well, he wouldn't be punishing himself if he were Beale, right? He wouldn't be at the culling post.
Maybe it's all part of the ruse, so he can be separated from the CR.
I'm liking Sharon D's theory. Maybe it's Heath.
Fuck this shit. So let's just end the series now. Because I'm not going to buy that. I will
Why
revolt.
not?
If Heath shows up, I will throw a brick through my screen.
Heath has to be somewhere. He's got to be
No, he
somewhere.
doesn't.
What happens when Mason turns out to be like a major douchebag and is like telling his dad everything and like
That's
we
what
find
I'm
out,
saying to you,
Yeah, and
first
we
of
find
all.
out he's the reason like he's
If
been
that
reporting
happens,
everything
I'll
back.
I'll be on Major General Beale's side.
You'll feel like ending the show here.
Kill them all,
But-
says Jasmine.
But this is kind of what I wanted to get to. Huck and Percy have this heart-to-heart, resembling a heart-to-heart. I think in one breath she admits, he knows, obviously, but she gives him the details. This is the exact thing that happened. It's not as if I took the wrench and beat your uncle's face in repeatedly until he died. I at least gave him the mercy killing that he deserved. Okay, that's what I got out of it. Did you feel that the same way?
No,
No. I shot him first. Oh, you didn't feel that?
No,
because I thought
no, not at all.
that's a little bit of a consequence. Like, okay, small potatoes, but like to me, I think if that was me, Percy, I'd feel a little bit like, okay, that's a bit of a mercy killing.
What I saw was Huck trying to get Percy to shoot her.
No, I saw that too. I saw that as well. But I also felt like, I don't know, I felt like if I was Percy, that would be, it's a cold comfort, but I thought maybe it would be a little bit of a mercy. Like, okay, at least he wasn't beaten to death in his final minutes.
I don't know. If you were in Percy's position, would that little bit of a difference mean anything to you? I mean, the result is still the same, you know?
I'll say this much. Like, I feel like in this moment where she could die, I feel like every little bit counts. But ultimately, no, you're right. I do feel like she was trying to, at least, if this is how I'm going to go, no more blood and lies.
Yeah.
No more. I did this because I believed in something. And now I'm here to tell you I don't believe in that something. And then she tells him, I did this because I thought the things that we were doing mattered.
Yeah.
And it turns out that was all bullshit. And I did this to your uncle. Now I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it to your uncle so that you understand that I'm not a monster. I didn't beat him to death with rage in my face. But I also did it because they told me that this is ultimately, we can't let anything happen. We can't let anybody inside, and we can't let strangers be on the inside and wreck our projects. But it turns out, here's what that project is. And here's why it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then I want you, and if it means you kill me now, fine. But I want you to know so that you can tell the kids, you could tell everybody back home exactly what's going on. You're going to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
If it means I die. But then she says carefully, she says, I want you to pull that trigger. But I know that if you do, you won't live. And I don't want that for you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very cool. And then take that and you relay that back to Iris and he having pillow talk. But you know, the scientists, they're not fighters. Like, what? And you're like, but I wanted to see you again. That's why I wanted to see you. Iris sucks. Yeah, I agree.
I concur. I wanted to read what Sharon D had said about the way Huck is talking to Percy. Yeah, she says, I love the calm tone she uses when she's talking someone down, like in general. But this time we see her, it was more depressed and sad than that, you know, cool, suave Huck that we know. It was her really feeling this, I think, you know.
Or cold even, like.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen Huck just know, like, this shut off. Like, when Percy's like, yeah, like when you killed my uncle, she goes,
Yeah.
You know, like she kind of just turns everything off.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this was more of an admission. This was, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But going to the pillow talk scene with Iris and Percy, I think this is the first time, I hate to admit this is the first time I feel like Percy is now conning. I'm late to the party on this one. Because the question has been asked why, or I don't know, you guys haven't asked it yet, but why does Percy still not kill Huck, even after he has all the information? And I thought it makes sense. Because Huck is telling the truth. He knows when somebody's telling the truth. And if he does kill Huck in this moment, he will die. And he will die never having relayed the information to all the other people. But he'll just die. And he doesn't want to die. I don't think that's what he wants. He's not in it for the revenge. He's in it for the self-preservation. Mm-hmm. So now he's in bed with Iris. And there's this pillow talk about, you know, oh, the fighters, they're so dumb. And he goes, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go. I don't want you to go. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I feel like he's allying himself with his best chance of surviving. It feels weird. Something feels off. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Or do you feel like now he genuinely has feelings for Iris? And now I'm the one who thinks it's a con.
I know. I can't ever really, really tell with Percy. I mean, yeah, I do think he likes Iris. I've always thought he liked her.
You do?
I've always
thought... I'm not sure now.
No, I've always thought he genuinely likes Iris. Yes, I do think he does.
I feel like, okay, I'll say this, and then I'm done with that whole thing. I feel like it may be true that he no longer wants to seek revenge against Huck because he feels like the con is too big. This would be Houdini's greatest trick. If I can get in there, kill Huck, and get out, I'd be better than Houdini. I'm not. Maybe just like the message of this episode, something that Dennis says. Yeah, Dennis says this to Silas. Sometimes you gotta learn to let shit go. And that's why Dennis was also very good symmetry for Lila. Lila's whole raison d'etre was similar to Ed Gain from Damage on the Inside, which we did mention. It's, I have to be able to recreate the circumstances that led to the demise of my family in order to get a win. I just want to get that. 8 years later, still haven't gotten it, but Dennis says it very clearly. Sometimes you just got to learn to let shit go. Got to learn to let shit go. And then we go back to Percy. Maybe he has. Maybe he's let go of his uncle. And now it's just about getting the fuck out.
Yeah.
And maybe he's attaching himself to the Bennetts because that's his best way.
Yeah. Maybe he can see how reckless Iris's rage is being. Yeah, he sees
and
what
is useful.
Yeah, he sees what path he could go down if he lets the rage that he's feeling over his uncle and what he's feeling towards Huck, if he lets that take him over, he's going to be acting and behaving just like Iris is right now, and he's seeing how reckless that is. So maybe he's learning from
this
her
is
mistakes.
why him saying what he says about I don't want enough people have died. I don't want my actions to be responsible for your father's death, your sister's death, your brother's death. I think that is somewhat genuine. But but he said the thing out loud. If he knows all this and he's seeing her being vengeful and he's still going along with Iris's ride, well, then there's a darker purpose here. Or he's using her. Felix is technically their brother.
Yeah.
The Bennett's brother. Because he's practically Leo's adopted son, essentially.
And he and Hope have that conversation about him being their brother. So
Yeah. So act like it.
Exactly.
So we're on the same page as far as Percy goes. Like now, it's a lot more clear. It's a lot more clear that things don't make sense. That's where I'm at right now. That's how I feel. What do you feel, Jasmine? Percy sucks too. Okay, she doesn't care. It's fine. Because I
have a range of those.
I'm not sure what Lil Sebastian is in reference to, but she was
in reference to The Walking Dead. Mason, maybe.
Well, when I hear Lil Sebastian, I think of Parks and Rec. I think she's. I'm being serious. It might have something to do with Parks and Rec, Lil Sebastian. But the seeing how far Mason.
Mason. Yeah, that's what she was referring to. Sebastian from the Commonwealth as Mason. Parallel.
Possibly. Sorry. That Sebastian hadn't even entered into my mind because they haven't technically said his name on the show.
I realized it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she was seeing how far he was willing to go is in reference to Huck and Percy, their conversation. Huck was trying to see how far Percy was willing to go. When she was telling him that's the gun I shot you with, and she was poking him.
That could be it too.
Poking the bear.
But even Sharondy is saying something that I had said previously, which was going back and watching S1. He really does show interest because she saw him as someone worth saving, and the person that he thought he could be, this hero or this courageous person that he could be, something that he never thought he could be while he was with his uncle. Solely.
Fair.
So, but I'm in a position where I don't feel that way. I don't know how to feel about this because he's seeing the writing on the wall with Iris. She's saying they're not fighters. Why are we wasting our time in taking that big of a risk to take these people to evacuate these people from the CR before we blow the shit up?
So Iris is basically saying the only people in the world who have value are people who can fight?
No, but she is saying something that you said is the thing that matters most. You had said on several occasions, Rachel, that when it comes to family, that's paramount. All Iris is basically saying is we're wasting our energy and our time and our blood on people that don't matter to us personally.
Okay.
If it means my family dies because we're saving these other people, well, fuck that. And that's where I feel like where you and Iris would agree, only based on previous conversations.
If that were the case, I would agree, but Herschel said it best. I mean, anybody could die at any moment, so you need to decide what's worth that risk. And if rescuing these people, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get yourself killed or you're going to get your family killed. And who's to say that these people don't have a little bit of fighting skill? If it came down to survival, I think everyone would learn real quick how to stab another person in the head.
I saw Spaghetti. Oh, Spaghetti Tuesdays on Wednesday?
Spaghetti Tuesdays every Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
You're giving the me response to what I know is the way you genuinely feel, but you have to give that response. I respect that. That. She's mangling what you would normally say. She's not explicitly saying if it means my family or these people, I'm choosing my family. I'm choosing the people I love in my tight-knit circle. Mm-hmm. But there's also, we've seen the other episodes, it's not just about my family, it's about killing them. And that's why I had said this, I didn't say this publicly, I said this in our chat, in our Discord, at kodishfi.com/walkingdead. No, so in our Discord I had said, after watching this episode, I said that something feels off with Iris to me in that there must be some bit of information that we didn't know. Now, the thing that I specifically said, but it might not be the case, but I just want to throw it out there. What if Iris had actually seen the moment where her mother dies? Like, they see Amelia Ortiz shoot their mother. I forget her mother's name. their mother's name, Hope and Iris's mother.
Oh my gosh.
I forget you're right. This was one of those rare white elk appearances of her name. No, you're not going to remember. It was said once and never said
Carrie.
again. Was it Carrie?
Carrie.
Fuck off. All right, so whatever her mother's name is, I'm kidding.
I remember the
Carrie
the
Bennett.
placard on her grave.
The plaque.
Yep.
Right, that was the only way we could have seen. Right,
Yep.
that's the only thing. So what if Iris had been there and she's repressing the blame, this blame that she may have of Hope. She knows everything, but she wants to milk it. She wants Hope to finally admit it. Or maybe she's repressed it or something. Now, it doesn't have to be that thing, but maybe there must be something about Iris that is making her do this. Because it can't just be about purpose. It can't just be about the thing about taking down the CR. It's too big. There must be something that's motivating her, something personal, something very close to her. I'm not saying I know what that is. I'm not saying, because it could be one of those things that like, oh, little did we know all this time something had happened to her that makes her feel like she needs to kill somebody or kill a whole organization that would dare hurt other people or Leo or anybody that she loves. And now I'm saying all this just to kind of put it out there so that when we see it, we'll be like, oh, Dave is right. And if you like what you heard, okay, no, end show. No,
Wait, are we done with
Sharon's
take?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're almost
All right.
done. No, I was kidding. I was kidding.
I thought you were really wrapping up.
I'm just saying because I'm almost embarrassed saying this out loud because you guys looked at me very crazily. Not now. I'm saying when I said this, you're like, that doesn't make sense because she doesn't know. We didn't see her see it, but there was a lot happening in that night the sky fell. There was a lot happening. So you don't know. You don't really know. It could be Madison. Madison killed. It wasn't Amelia Ortiz at all. Anyway. All right, let's keep going.
I had a theory that maybe they had taken out Omaha and Campus Colony because they needed massive amounts of test subjects for whatever they were working on. That wasn't entirely true, but I'm going to claim it because I did say that they needed lots of test subjects. It may not be the ultimate end for the CRM, but that's the closest I've gotten to getting anything right, so I'm claiming that one.
I'm glad she brought this up. Good, because then it dovetails nicely to our conversation about Percy. But regarding what she says right here, we discovered though that all these test subjects were bullshit in this episode. It's all bullshit. It's all to take out the colonies. There's no alliance. Alliance is bullshit. They never wanted to they just wanted to see what the competition was. That's what Percy says.
Dead now. Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole purpose of getting into an alliance was to see the competition. The excuse is massive amounts of test subjects. So you are right, Sharon D.
Madison being Major General Beale fits with Portland being in Texas because Mason's from Portland. I didn't think it was relevant enough to bring up in the actual podcast. But
No, now my gears are turning.
Ugh, I hate that my gears are turning. RJ isn't real.
It hurts
Anyway.
my brain. It hurts my brain when my gears turn that hard. Like, Madison was in Texas, and then if she's Major General Beale in the Portland, Texas theory, and then
But then
it's all making sense.
my father wanting me to be in the military, and then my father. Where does Madison fit in?
Maybe
it's a zipper suit.
Maybe Madison is the stepmom.
There you go.
Padre. She's the father. She's Mason's father. We just wrapped everything up. It's no more podcasting. These shows are over. We just wrapped everything up in a bow.
Maybe Madison finds love in whoever his dad is, and then they raise Mason, and then
I'm going to butcher what Sharon D says just now. Madison, you are the Padre. No, but going back to what Sharon D says, I think Sharon she's loosely right, but mostly wrong. At the end of the day, because at the end of the episode, we find out the test subjects were bullshit. If they end up bearing results, it's just incidental. It's like, oh, we don't think this VOTUS thing is going to work, but let's kill a bunch of people. This is the whole purpose. We're just trying to kill a bunch of people. But anyway.
I'm kind of starting to like Percy a little bit more. I still hate him and Iris, but I think that has more to do with Iris than with Percy. He's really not a bad guy. He could have still killed Huck, but he chose the big picture, and I like that he's doing that.
Do you see how we're going in different ways?
Yeah,
chips in the night.
I'm kind of on board with what Sharon just said. Not even kind of. I'm totally on board with what Sharon just said. My whole reason for not liking Percy in the beginning was what? He was honing in on Iris, which was my girl Silas. That was Silas's girl, and so I didn't like Percy. But now I hate Iris so much.
That ship is sailed?
Yeah, well, I hate Iris so much that I don't even want Silas to waste his time with her. So now I want Percy and Silas to buddy off and just hate Iris together.
Oh, they both have uncles that have passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's never going to happen.
No.
I say that because it just, I don't
I
think
don't know. I
even
mean,
Silas
they're
would
buddies.
appreciate-
Like when Percy sees Silas, and he's like, "Hey,
Hey,
big
big guy."
guy." They're chummy with each other. I don't know how
guess.
really how Silas feels about Percy, but I think Percy likes Silas.
I don't know. I guess the general thing about Percy being so into Iris, it just now it seems at this point it seems fishy. Well, so then what do you feel about Percy though?
I'm indicating that I'm on the fence.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I love how we're suddenly starting to change. We're all completely changing our positions.
Like he's better than Iris, but worse than Mason, kind of thing.
Wow, but that is like the two extremes though, because you love Mason and you hate Iris.
So, like, if Mason,
basically he's everybody.
If Mason's like a 10 and Iris is like a 1 on the likability scale, Percy's like a 5.
Where does Hope fall on that scale?
Hope's a 7.
Oh, okay. So she's better than
Okay.
Percy too.
Or 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hope's my favorite character, I think, on this show.
Really?
I'd say
Yeah.
Felix is my favorite.
Elton.
I like Elton. I identify with Elton most. I think I respect Elton most, but I think as far as somebody who's had the most adversity and most triumph and then makes the right, somewhat wise decisions as a result of that, and then stacking them up against Elton, I don't know. I just have a better affinity for Hope, I think. I know it's weird, but still, hey, look how that shook out. We're just standing here appreciating the fact that we're all feeling differently about Percy than we felt in the last episode. Completely. That's a good commentary on the show, I think, where you don't know what's going to happen next in general, but then you completely feel a different way about a character in the next episode. I think that's just remarkable.
Votus, VOTUS. POTUS, President of the United States. What is Votus? Via victory over the United States.
Virus
I don't know.
of the United
just
States.
Weird name. Sorry I couldn't be there. I love you guys.
You're here with us. You're right there.
Now,
You're right
yeah.
there. I see you.
I see you. Votus comes from the Latin word vow or promise. So that's interesting. When I edited, I started laughing hysterically. Now I don't have that in me right now. But no, it was so funny. It was like Votus, POTUS, Victor, victory. I was like, what, Victor Strand of the United States? But like, I think also like, it's funny, but it's also like, okay, well, I guess it's their way of capturing the country, I guess, being the only one there. But votus in Latin does mean vowed or promised or devoted to. So, I wrote in capital letters, I said, studying reanimation, stopping it, it's a foothold into the future. So it's a promise. There's a promise for the future, but it could also be loyalty. It has nothing to do with the future. It has everything to do with loyalty. You are loyal to the Civic Republic. Everybody else is dead, living or dead. Everybody outside the project. But this is also what gets me to think about Jadis again. Because like you said, that conversation between she and Leo is not unimportant. Leo goes, I'm doing this for what's left, whatever it is. And that, I loved his choice of words. Because he basically is the response to Lila. What is left if you've parceled off all your soul? I'm just holding on to whatever is left of that. And also a response to Barca. Barca, you're right. Now that we've sold our soul so much, let's just take care of what's left. Let's leave something better behind to our children than what we wrought today. So I like that response. But then Jadis comes back and she goes, like a true believer, which makes me think, what the fuck? It's about Life Doctor. I wrote this all down, which gets me like, is she bullshitting Leo? Not being very honest about it. Is she trying to get him to believe in this Votus project? Meanwhile, on the back end, this is why I don't think Jadis is purposefully driving Huck I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me unless she really is like 4Ding chessing. Like, okay, I know she has a relationship with Leo. I know Jennifer Malik has a relationship with Leo. Let's pretend like I'm sending Leo further into the Votus project while I work on the back end to get Jennifer Malik, aka Huck, that's her real name, in the back end to try to get Dennis involved and to try to get, so that now everybody's on the same page. I want them to know everything that's going on. Are you motivated? Yeah, I'm motivated. But then on the back end, he knows all the truth, so he's not motivated. He knows all of this is bullshit.
Well,
so I'm like thinking to myself,
motivated, but for what path? He doesn't have to lie.
Right.
Yeah.
The question really lies in the fact that is Jadis like super like a super genius 4D chessing this whole thing? That's the big question of the day. That's the whole purpose of this episode. Is Jadis a super fucking genius? And she orchestrates this whole concerto on behalf of this whole of taking down the CR ultimately, right?
I'm inclined
them
to say
knowing
yes.
everything by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
I know. No, I'm still caught. I'm still caught. It's about life, Doctor. It's about life versus death. You know, and that doesn't mean that some people aren't going to die along the way, which is code. Could be code. I don't know. If she's spying on everybody else and getting their exact quotes to relay to Lila later, eventually the rat gets tired, Lila. Then who's spying on her?
On
That's
Jadis?
the question too. Yeah. So of course she's going to say all the right things in the moment while working on the back end, while making Jennifer tell everybody the truth. This is what makes me crazy, but it's genius because it really gets your fucking wheels turning.
Doesn't it kind of seem... No, I mean, if there's proof of the opposite, please tell me. But doesn't it kind of seem like while Jadis is there, she's in charge of everything? Because Kublek's gone, and she told Lila...
Well, she even says she has latitude in the military.
Yeah, it makes me think that there isn't anyone spying on her directly, but that she is to report to someone, obviously. But I don't think she's being spied on the way she's spying on everyone else.
Possibly, right? But then we go back to Corporal Pierce, right?
Yeah, then
we have that
she's
whole
always
discussion.
there. That's true too. Yeah.
So there may be like the whispers. There's someone always watching.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What about if Jadis is just orchestrating this entire situation, not because she thinks that someone's spying on her, but instead she wants to like fuel them to like and get them so far until they mess up, and she stops them and she captures them, and she's like, "I'm the hero. Give me my promotion."
Oh
boy, that's the
Ooh.
other way. That is definitely the other way.
Dang. Yeah.
So she's basically orchestrating a modern day witch hunt.
So she's like,
if we
she's
make
setting a fire so she can put it out.
Yeah.
She's got that hero complex.
Which could be, oh man, I would hate for this to be true, but it could be a repeat of what she did to Dennis and Jennifer, in a sense. Like maybe
Well, but she didn't
set
set that up, though, right? It was just an opportunity that she jumped on, potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
she didn't make Dennis
Not that
drink.
we know. Maybe that was just a bonus, right?
Yeah.
Like the fact that he drank, you know, it was a bonus. But like, what, yeah, I mean, what if we find out that it was all orchestrated by her and it was the rat race and that the whole thing was purposeful? And not only that, but Jadis orchestrated the whole thing. You know, let's give him something to do.
Oh, man.
Lotus is bullshit. Yeah, I don't know which one I like better though, but I do enjoy the thought that Jadis is a super genius. Like in terms of just pulling up all the moves, like all knowing the whole board for what it is. And maybe General Beale is perfectly well intentioned. Maybe Jadis is the big bad too. Period. Exclamation point.
And then Major General Beale can be Rick.
No, he still can't be. He still can't be Rick. But it does. But you know what? The funny thing is, if that is the case, it relegates General Beale to being completely unimportant, which is I'm actually fine with, because it makes us look in one direction. This mystery person we have no idea about, when we should have been looking at Jadis. That is genius. Then we don't have to give a shit who General Beale is. But meanwhile, we all have these wild theories about him being Rick or him being have any importance at all. Genius. Now I like this. Jadis is the big bad theory. And what if Jadis was Madison? No, bad podcast. And if you like what you heard, though, head over to ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. 5 stars and an eggplant is all we need to know that you love us. Just speak your truth. And do it after every episode. Does Iris suck? Does Percy suck? Does Percy not suck? Where is Percy on your meter of acceptance? Do you not even know what's going on? We don't, clearly. But tell the world after every episode, because it lets us know that we're worth listening to. And if you want to be in the chat while we record, if you want to get this unadulterated, unedited version of this recording right after we record, if you want to be involved in the process, we are Squawking Dead. Head over to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead and just follow us. When we drop a recording schedule, when we drop our unedited episode recordings, you will be the first to know. And if you want to join in, dip your toe in the water, you can tip us for $3 and get 30 days of access to Sportaback content, or you can join one of our membership subscriptions for just $1 a month at the very least. It's not about the money. It's about sending us a message, it's about letting us know that we're worth listening to. And with that, everybody, I've been your host, David Cameo. I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burke, our Survivors tier member, Jasmine, and Sharon D in the chat, obviously, and also on video,
and
as well as Mario. Mario hitting, coming back from the rear with history is written by the victor. Yeah.
That's right.
It's great to have you guys here. And I guess we'll see you in episode 8 of The Walking Dead World Beyond as the series starts to wind down. It's
Getting to the
crazy in
end.
here. You can do so much in 3 episodes. So much. That is not a nothing thing. You can show your face now. We know Iris sucks. We all know now. We're all aware.
I think the world is on board.
With Iris sucking?
Yeah.
You know what?
Let's be honest.
3
In one way or
episodes-
another, Iris sucks.
Yeah. I wonder what they're going to do in 3 episodes to make us think otherwise. Because
Yeah, I know it's
gotta
coming.
happen.
I can feel.
Right?
I can feel it. I can,
Now you feel it. Now you feel it.
No.
Okay.
I have felt it for a couple of weeks. I just don't. I don't like it.
Don't want to admit to it.
No. I have said I feel a twist coming. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, they're gonna try and make us like Iris, but I ain't falling for it. It ain't gonna happen. But they can try.
And Mason is the best, right, Jasmine?
That's right.
You're not on mute, I don't think.
I
No.
know. I'm aware.
It's easier to write your feelings down.
Or I had these pre-made.
Nice.
They should have audio on them. For those poor audio listeners. It's good to see you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one, and bye.
Bye.
Until then, bye. Bye.
All right. Can Charity hop into
You have
post?
to say goodbye, Jasmine. You have to say it.
It's a
It's a
thing
new
now.
production. Yeah, it's a thing now. For the audio podcast, she waved goodbye. She was waving. Very nice. It's a constant stream of wave.
That's
very nice.
That's a supermarket sweep wave.
Yeah. Everybody, don't say whatever. Goodbye, everybody.